We also have a very, very noted badminton coach of India, that is Gopichan Pulela, sir. He'll be coming and talking here live after Pv Sindhu speaking. Then we have many big speakers today. Like I told you, we have Mr. Rajendra Singh, the waterman of India. He's already here in Kanha, Shanti, Vanam, and he's here sitting right here. That's him. We have Madam Shri Kiran Bir Sethi here, one of the most prominent personalities of India. And of course, all other speakers are also here with us. So yes, you're going to have a very good day here. And we also have Tejaswini Manogna here. She's here. The Miss India Planet. Is she here? She's also going to be here on one of the panel talks. Oh, Gopichan sir is already here. We welcome you, sir. So yes, today is a day of all high performer star speakers here for the complete day. And it will be very, very interesting session, which will be followed with panel discussion, lots of talks. And after that, we have a very important announcements for all of you. At 4:30, we have here a plan to have a photo op with most of the colleges, whoever we can accommodate, with the banners and the group photo with the colleges. There'll be a closing ceremony from 4 to 4:30. After that, we'll plan for a photo op for all the colleges near the stage. So I would request all of you to be here for the photo op, group photograph for all the students. So these were some announcements. I'll just take a pause for a minute if I've missed something to inform. So regarding the certification, which you all are very keen of, and you all must be worried of the QR codes. So don't worry, we have sorted out the technical glitch. Just some testing is happening here.
Check 1, 2. Hi Sindhu, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you please turn on your... No, we are not getting your audio. 1 minute. Laptop का audio check करो ना. కౌశిక్ ఒకసారి ఇంటర్నల్ వస్తుందా చెక్ చేసుకో. వస్తుందా? Sindhu, can you once talk?
Yeah, hi. Hi. Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Hello. 1, 2, 3.
You are getting in the laptop? Can you give the connection now to them? Yeah. Can you please test now, Sindhu?
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you feeling now?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm feeling fine. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Would you like to turn on the video once so that we can just check it? Later you can disconnect.
Yeah, 1 second. One second. I'm just owning it.
Sure, sure.
Hello.
Okay. Everyone in the meditation hall is watching, and I think you can hear the
Okay.
claps.
Yeah. Hello,
Sure.
everyone.
So we will message you so that you can connect back at that time.
Sure.
Thank
Around
you.
10:45,
Around
something.
10:45. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
For you, the video and audio are clear, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So that was the glimpse of Pv Sindhu right now before she comes live on Zoom again. Yes, so let's begin today's session with heartfulness relaxation. Ready ho, aap log sab? Yes? Let's start with the relaxation technique. There are some more announcements. I'm sorry, I'm just missing it. We are happy to inform that certificate distribution will be started after some sessions today. So please collect them before 2 p.m. I mean, you can collect it in the lunch time. Those who have registered individually are requested to go to satellite S4. It's right behind there. Individual certifications are provided at S4 satellite. Those who have registered individually, not colleges, are requested to go to S4 to collect your certification in lunchtime between 1 to 2. Okay? And for universities, faculty, and colleges are requested to visit Conference Hall N2, that is at 1 between 1 to 2 in the auditorium. We are going to give certificates to all the faculty members for bulk registrations. Bulk colleges, we will be providing the certificates between 1 to 2 in the auditorium. Please note that students that have registered to universities are requested not to come to the satellite. The students who have registered through your colleges, who have come in the group, are requested not to come to S4. Only individual registrations are requested to report at S4 between 1 to 2 in your lunch break to collect your certification. And the certificates will be given with some verification steps, which our volunteers will explain to you. So with this important information, let's begin with the relaxation technique because okay, 1 o'clock, lunch break. Huh. Okay, so there's one more information here. We are going to have a beautiful, huge group photograph between 1 to 2. Okay, ready all of you for that group photograph also? Kindness ambassadors together at Kanha Shanti Vanam. It sounds good, like? Super. So between 1 to 2, we will guide you where to come for the group photography. So please assemble there between 1 to 2. We will guide you. Our volunteers will be there to help you assemble at one point where we can cover the complete group at one place. Okay, and most of them I think are not able to attend because most of them are having their trains and flights in the afternoon. So those who are missed, we will try to connect with them again back for the certifications and other issues. So with this, I think I have finished my announcements, and she comes again with one more announcement. Thank you so much, and let's close our eyes, all of you. Let's please mobile phones off. Please check your mobile phones. Let me tell you, we are very happy that none of the phones were ringing here. That means all our students are so tech savvy. They are very alert about the phone. So thank you so much for being so kind and keeping all your phones on the silent mode. Thank you so much. So let's close our eyes and let's begin with the relaxation technique, heartfulness relaxation. Within 10 minutes, Daaji will be arriving here and he will start with his meditation. Before that, let's prepare ourselves to receive all the grace and love what he will transmit today in your third sitting. Remove all your thoughts from your mind, relax your mind, sit in a relax in a comfortable mode. Remove all the worries from your mind. And it's time now just to connect with yourself. It's just your space. No one else in between you and yourself. It's being kind to yourself by being with yourself, by connecting with yourself. Let's begin with heartfulness relaxation technique. Bring your attention to your feet. Wriggle the fingers of your feet. Relax them. Feel your feet. Relax your feet totally. अपने पैरों पर ध्यान दीजिए. Bring your attention now slowly to your ankles. Relax your ankles. Bring your attention slowly to your calf muscles. Feel your calf and relax it. Your calf muscles are getting relaxed. Your legs are getting relaxed. Now slowly bring your attention to your knee region. अपने घुटनों पर ध्यान दीजिए एंड घुटनों के मांसपेशियों को रिलैक्स करिए. रिलैक्स योर नी, कीप इट लूज. Now slowly bring your attention to your thigh region. Relax the muscles around your thigh area and keep it very loose. Your thighs are getting relaxed. Your legs have got relaxed. Now slowly bring your attention to your seat region. Relax the muscles around your seat area. Now bring your attention to your lower back. Feel the muscles around your lower back. अपने कमर पर ध्यान दीजिए और वहाँ पे जो मसल्स है उसको पूरी तरह से रिलैक्स करिए, लूज रख दीजिए एकदम. After lower back, bring your attention to your upper back region. Relieve all the muscles around your upper back. Your upper back is getting relaxed. Your lower back has got relaxed. Now slowly bring your attention to your stomach region. आपके पेट पर ध्यान दीजिए and relax all the muscles around your stomach region. एकदम stomach naturally और loose रख दीजिए. Your stomach has got just relaxed. From your stomach, bring your attention slowly to your shoulders. अपने कंधों पर ध्यान दीजिए. Relax all the muscles around your shoulder area. अपना ध्यान आपके हाथों पर लाइए. Your upper arm, relax it. Your lower arm, relax it. And your palms, keep it very loose and relaxed. Both your hands have just got relaxed. Let your shoulders relieve all the tensions from the back. Bring your attention to the neck region. Relax your neck and relieve all the stress from your neck region. Bring your attention slowly to your face now. Your chin, your cheeks, your eyes, your forehead. Relax them totally. Keep it very loose. Your jawline, let it drop. Your whole body has got relaxed. Now relax your mind also totally. Let only positive thoughts walk in. From the mind region, slowly bring your attention to your chest region. Relax your chest, keep it loose. And now slowly feel the rhythm of your heart. Feel the heartbeats. and think of a beautiful divine light waiting for your attention inside. With lots of gratitude, love, stay connected to the divinity in your heart. Be thankful of whatever you have got in life because of the divine source. Stay connected to the life force within you. Be thankful to the life force which has provided you so much of love and care. Stay connected to the divine source. Stay connected with yourself.
Namaste, everyone. This morning meditation will be of a different type. We are doing this in the morning, here, at the moment. But when you go back home, this particular type of meditation, we call it cleaning or Anta Suddhikaran. We adopt this process in the evening when most days' activities are over. The purpose is to arrive at a very simple and a pure state of mind and consciousness. So I'll walk you through the process. Don't try to be in a rush. Try to maintain your awareness. In this process, we use a very subtle, prayerful will that all these complexities and impurities which are there within me are going away in the form of smoke or vapor. And as something disappear from our system, it creates a kind of vacuum. We need to fill it up with divinity. So let's again close our eyes very gently. Make a sankalp that through this practice I'm going to become pure and simple. Think that all complexities and impurities are going away from my system, from the backside. So you imagine top of your head till the tailbone, the entire backside. It's going away from the backside in the form of smoke. As you go along, intensify this process. Please maintain this idea or sankalp for another 10-15 minutes that all complexities and impurities are going away from my backside in the form of smoke. remind yourself that I'm sitting and trying to do this cleaning where all the impurities and complexities are going away from the backside in the form of smoke. हमारी पीठ से धुएं के रूप में ये कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज है, इम्प्यूरिटीज है, निकल रही है. As this process continues, cleaning is going on. Make a sankalp that divine grace is descending from above, is entering your heart. Divine grace is descending from above and entering my heart, helping me to remove all these complexities and impurities, making me purer and simpler. की ओर से मेरे हृदय में पवित्र धारा आ रही है जो मुझे प्योर और सिंपल बना रही है। अब मेरा हृदय एक मंदिर जैसा बन रहा है। My heart is becoming a holy place where God can reside. My heart is becoming like a temple of God. Maintain this thought, please. So this is the completion of the process of cleaning. I urge you to do this in the evening whenever you come back home. First thing you do as soon as you reach home is do this cleaning. Third thing I would like to teach you before you all leave. We have learned so far meditation, where we focus our mind on presence of divine light in the heart. We become receptive at that time and try to receive transmission or pranahuti that changes our consciousness. We have just finished the process of cleaning. It is to be done only in the evening. Why we do this? You can learn all those reasons why we do this morning meditation, evening cleaning through our master classes. You can download those master classes and learn it while you are traveling back home. Third thing I would like to share with you is offering prayer. To me, the prayer is a connecting link between us and God. When we do offer prayer, we address to God. We confess what is our goal in life. We also share what is preventing us from achieving that goal or arriving at that goal. And third thing we address or we recognize that without His help, it is very difficult to attain the goal. So we identify the goal, which are the roadblockers, and what can help us move beyond these roadblockers. So this prayer is also there in the digital book that we have shared with you. Simple heartfulness practices. But this is what we do. We brood over every word and try to understand the meaning. We don't recite it like mantras. We have to understand the meaning of each word, contemplate. Prayer we use just before we retire, finally to bed. It's the final most activity before we go to sleep. So here you go. This is the prayer how I offer my prayer, and you can try to use a similar way. Close your eyes and try to listen. O Master, Thou art the real goal of human life. The Master is always God, or God is always the Master, and He is our goal. We are yet but slaves of wishes, putting bar to our advancement. I repeat, we are yet but slaves of wishes, putting bar to our advancement. Thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage. Thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage. Repeat this prayer with contemplation. While contemplating on the meaning, you can go to sleep at that time. So what happens during the night sleep? You remain in some kind of osmosis with divinity. Your sleep pattern will be of a different type. And when you wake up in the morning, you can begin your day with meditation. During daytime, try to maintain that condition. In the evening, perform this inner cleaning or antahasuddhikaran. Before you retire to bed, offer a prayer. So this is a complete package, heartfulness way, how we offer our practices. Of course, there are many deeper aspects. Such a short time, I cannot teach you all. But you can read our books, you can watch our videos, you can register yourself and become the member so that you can keep receiving various methodology, various news, various knowledge that we share with the world. So our morning practice session is over, but I'd like to share with you something very profound which is very dear to my heart From very early childhood, I had learned this from my father. He used to emphasize a lot on the way we breathe. He was talking about circadian rhythm, meaning our energy patterns, our breathing pattern change as soon as we wake up. Moment sun rises, there is a particular pattern of breathing, and when sun sets, the breathing pattern, energy flow also changes. If you become very quiet and calm and see what happens at the moment, how you are breathing. Are you breathing through both nostrils, or are you breathing through one nostril, or there is a dominance of one of the nostrils while other nostril is working but lesser? Did you notice something? Whose right nostril is working? Can you raise the hand? The right nostril guys. Left nostril people. And both nostrils active equally. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Keep observing this during your daytime. Since the right nostril dominates during daytime as soon as the sun rises, it is called Surya Nadi. And left nostril kicks on generally at night time or when you have just finished a meditation. Sometimes both nostrils will work after the meditation. Ideal is when both are working together in equanimity. There is a way how to make both nostrils equally running. You can try it at home. Just stand in one place and keep jumping up and down, up and down, up and down for at least 10 times and see how both nostrils will start functioning in the same energy flow. There is another method, like how children crawl with their fore. You can walk forward 10 steps, crawl for 10 times, and crawl back 10 times. Your both nostril will start working with equal energy force. This is called Susumna Nadi. So Ida Nadi and Pingla Nadi, right nostril and left nostril breathing, and Susumna is more balanced. Our working hours, where you need a lot of energy, Surya Nadi should function. When you're resting and digesting, the left nostril should dominate. So this gives some idea to scientific mind, those who are studying autonomous nervous system, sympathetic system, and parasympathetic system. Right nostril is all about sympathetic nervous system. Left nostril is all about parasympathetic nervous system. And you will see all the symptoms that we get, parasympathetic activation versus sympathetic activation, and how the functions keep changing. We all can notice, we can feel that every single moment. That means when sun sets, one should be resting. Otherwise, it is like your awareness is flowing against the flow which is natural. Can you swim against the currents of river? Some can, most cannot. And those who can, they'll be draining their energies very fast. Same thing happens at night with night shift workers. They get tired very fast. At night, our physiological system is meant to be at rest. But night shift workers, they don't have such opportunity. They slog at night, they get tired very fast, and they also fall sick more often. Their age also considerably reduces compared to those people who are not exposed to multiple night shifts. Most of us, though we are not working, though we are not having part-time job or night-time shifts, our lifestyle has become like night-time shift. Though doing nothing, simply working on computer or typing something on your hand or partying, drugging oneself, drinking away, multiple things can happen when at night you remain awake for no reason whatsoever. It takes a toll on your health. While we are younger, it does not speak on our body immediately, but as we age, it speaks a volume. Then it's already too late to reverse this process of correcting your health. My friends who used to do drugs in India is not new. These are not the only times when people drug themselves with marijuana or coke or Morbi, crack. So many drugs are there. There are amphetamine addicts. If you see their life, extrapolated life, or those who had been drug addicts during their lifetime, or even simple thing like smokers, after 40, you can see how fast they age. I've been keeping track of 3 of my best friends who were drug addicts and marijuana smokers. Day in and day out, they used to be stoned. You know what stoned means, right? We had to literally lift them, drugs and alcohol, put them in bed, tuck them so they'd sleep better. Now, when we are all almost 64, 65, 66, and all those 3 guys, they're not alive today because they didn't look after their health. They addicted themselves with smoke, alcohol, and drugs. Is this what you're looking for? The other day, I made you ask one simple question to yourself. Whatsoever you are doing, would you allow your grandchild to do? That should satisfy the answer. Forget father and mother. These days, people don't listen. They think you as children has been born to enemies, sworn enemies who are interfering in your life. But your grandchildren are not your enemies. You, perhaps though you don't have them, you can still sympathize with them. So put them in front and compare that would I be joyful, would I be enjoying the rest of my life, sunset of my life, while these children are drugging themselves and destroying themselves. Imagine that. We can nurture them with better vibrations, healthy vibrations, healthier habits. But how can I inculcate healthier habits if I myself don't have them? Perhaps you may not be alive also to train your grandchild and share. You might see your grandchild, maybe your grandchild may be up to 2 years or 3 years, but definitely you will not be able to interact when they are teenagers. And that is most important. I hope you have read a bit of my chapter on Wisdom Bridge, our upcoming book. The publishers and other editors are saying it's one of a kind. And I wish you all, please read at least one chapter that we have shared with you. And it's nobody has received it, but only you have received it so far. Even the regular members of this Heartfulness Institute has also not received. But I thought you as youngsters will benefit from this knowledge. And there are other very exciting chapters which you can always read later on when the book is out. When you go back, please form a science and spirituality club in your college, in your institution. Let us study spirituality with a touch of science. When we believe in religion, there is nothing wrong. But blindly believing and knowingly believing versus I believe because I experience. There are three levels of declarations. One declaration is I believe because my mother says so, my father says so. That's one declaration because my parents say so. Another declaration, my books, my religion. Third declaration is because I have experienced, so I believe. And there are next more and more levels are there where though I have experienced peace, it's momentary. Though I feel loved, it is still momentary. I feel generous and kind, it is still momentary. Have I become permanent being as a peace, as love, as generous person, kinder person? And is this incremental each day? And a time comes where you get fed up of your own kindness and generosity and love and peace. We have enjoyed this peace so much. We as human beings are never satisfied with what we have. You will never be satisfied also when you have bliss, the ultimate bliss. You'll say, to hell with this. I want to renounce even the bliss. That is the ultimate state where you don't even care. You are absolutely free even from freedom. Then you can say, I have arrived home. That doesn't mean your journey stops. No, your journey always continues. The path is infinite. And I'm very happy that you all are at such a tender age, younger age, have embarked upon this path. Some will succeed, most will not succeed. But my prayers are there. Let's all join in prayer so that we all make it to our destination. What is only thing that is required is commitment. Am I interested in achieving it? If I'm interested in achieving it, God is even more interested in having us with Him. Be sure of it. You take one step towards God, and God is already there with you. He doesn't even have to take extra steps, He's always there. Practice, practice, and practice. Hope to see you all very soon. Keep coming to Kanha. And when you grow up and you have your family, your children, grandchildren, I may not be here, but this place will be there for you to explore and explore with your family. Thank you.
So, congratulations to all of you. You all have completed 3 sittings, and welcome to the Heartfulness meditation technique. Congrats to all the Abhyasis youth sitting here, and we are really proud of you. It's a very happy occasion for all of us that you all have completed the sittings, and all the best for your new spiritual journey, which has already begun, in fact. Now, revered Daji would like to show a small video on the effects of radiation.
This is what everyday life looks like for most of us. Although this scene appears to be quite harmless, all of us are being exposed to some very harmful waves. What if I told you that each of these people is carrying a time bomb without realizing just how explosive it is? Would it be scary or surprising? Maybe both. Let's assume that we can see these waves. Each of these modern electronic devices emit radiation. What would this scene look like then? Scary, isn't it? Just when you think you have a fighting chance for a long, healthy life, you realize that the device you're watching this on is in all likelihood harming you right now. Radiation can be broadly classified into two types: ionizing and non ionizing. Sources for ionizing radiation include heat or light from the sun, X rays from an X ray tube, and gamma rays from radioactive elements. Meanwhile, non ionizing radiation is emitted by cell phones when it sends and receives radio frequency signals and uses Wi Fi and Bluetooth. And they will cause a thermal effect that could raise body temperature and lead to health complications in the long run. RF radiation's lethal effects were easily evident in this simple experiment. When a blood sample was placed under a microscope, the WBCs in the blood remained static, at ease and completely unthreatened. However, when a cell phone was brought close to it, the WBCs became violently active, searching for the threat to take preventive action. They will never be able to fight the waves of radiation, of course, but they are fully capable of producing more WBCs to counter the threat. And this could easily lead to leukemia. What is leukemia? It is commonly known as the cancer of the blood cells. RF radiation is fully capable of turning your own body's defenses against you. Let us look at another experiment. Sprouts were planted in 4 separate pots and they were exposed to the same conditions, except one was kept in a room with Wi Fi, another in a room with Bluetooth, the third in a room with an active mobile phone connection, and the last one in a meditation room that had no radiation. Within a week, the plants had grown, but except the one in the meditation room, the others had turned yellow. The effects of Wi Fi, Bluetooth, and RF radiation may be minimal, but they are strong enough to cause lasting damage if we are overexposed to them, especially in the young and developing bodies of children. What can we do to reduce our exposure to radiation? Use wired networks wherever possible. Turn off routers when they are not being used. Use a speakerphone on your device or wired headphones whenever possible. Instead of stashing your phone in a pocket, Carry it in your bag. When you go to bed, keep your phone as far away from you as possible, or activate airplane mode, or just switch it off entirely. Avoid giving small children phones to play with like toys. Only switch Bluetooth and Wi Fi on when you really need to use it. Otherwise, turn it off. Some countries have already begun adopting these preventive measures, especially in schools. Maybe it is about time that we did too. The Greeks and the Romans used to be among the most prosperous races on the planet, and they were at the forefront of innovation and technology at their time. A small error wiped them out, a mistake that could have been reversed if they were more careful. They chose to cook and eat in utensils that were coated with lead because it was a status symbol and also the food tasted better. Now, lead is a toxic metal that accumulates in the human body, affecting the nervous system and eventually causing death. However, by the time they realized what was going on, it was too late. They were affected by so much lead poisoning that it wiped out a significant part of their population. The death count was high, and ultimately, it led to the Roman Empire crumbling out of existence. Our present scenario is very similar to the Greeks and the Romans. They needed to eat, but had they given up the usage of lead, they could have avoided misfortune and lived long and healthy lives. Similarly, we do need to access the internet and its conveniences in the modern world, but it is about time that we did it responsibly. Why wait until our children have to pay the price for our carelessness?
So that was the effect of radiation. So better to keep it away as far as possible. That's the message what Revered Daaji is trying to convey today to all the youth here. So now, without waiting more, we are very happy that we have Madam Pv Sindhu here on live session with us for International Youth Conference. Just to introduce her briefly, she doesn't need any introduction, but she is considered to be India's, no, world's most successful sportswoman. She has won various tournaments, and she's the only Indian athlete to become badminton world champion and only second Indian athlete to win two consecutive medals at Olympics. Recently, she won the gold medal at the Commonwealth Games, and she has been bestowed with many awards at national level and international level. We are also very proud to say she's also a avid heartfulness abhyasi, and Daji has personally given her sittings for heartfulness meditation. So may I request PV Sindhu madam to kindly address all our youth. They have been waiting for you for last 3 days, and they are looking forward to listen from you. So over to you.
Namaskar, Daji. Hello, everyone. Very good morning to everyone. Sorry, I am not able to be there because I had a stress fracture, so I'm resting at the moment. But would have been love to be there to see you all. And of course, I've been doing meditation since a very long time. Would love to be there and take sittings from Daji, but unfortunately, I am here. But otherwise, it's great to see you all being there. And I think, firstly, talking about meditation, I think I felt such a relief, I would say. I mean, I got connected so well so that whatever happens in your life, I think, you just close your eyes and you just meditate and you just feel so good about it and everything just goes off. I mean, the stress or tensions or whatever it is, because I personally felt it. So to the youth out there, I think you are guided by the best hands, and wishing you all the very best and for the future. And of course, being a sports person, whoever is playing sports or whoever want to play sports or anything, I think at least don't forget to meditate is what I want to say, because I personally felt that meditation really helps you in your life no matter what. So once again, thank you so much, and it was lovely seeing you all, and definitely would love to be there one day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pv Sindhu. And we wish you fast recovery from your injury. Take rest and come
Thank
back
you.
and shine back for India the way you do always and make us all proud. We are so proud of you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, next up, we have a very well known sports personality in our house today. We have Pulela Gopichan sir. I would like to invite Shri Pulela Gopichan sir, our badminton champion and current chief of Indian national badminton team, to share few words with us. We welcome you, sir. Thank you so much for joining the International Youth Conference and giving us your precious time.
Pranam Daji. After the wonderful session of Daji, and I think the words spoken by Sindhu, I don't think there's much to say. But nonetheless, I think all of you in the last 3 days must have experienced something really wonderful out here. We are very fortunate, I am very fortunate that this place is in Hyderabad, and the presence of this wonderful center, this technique, and this place, I think, is something which makes me swell with pride, and also the usefulness of whatever is said here, I think, is immense. For me personally, I think it's very important. I've been very fortunate during the COVID times, especially, that all of our students had an opportunity to do heartfulness meditation, be here at the center, one of the very few or the only ones who were who had access to come to this place and experience it. And I think it's been really, really helpful and wonderful. Whether you're doing sport or anything in life, I think excellence is something which we should always strive for. And I have seen this place grow. And for many of you who are here for the first time, this place was as barren as it can get. There was not a single tree here almost 5 years back. And just see what transformation this has been. So for me, Kanha, Kanha Shantivanam is a place which shows us what is possible. And whenever there's so much of action, and I see this action, this aggression outside, but the calmness inside. And I think that is what I feel so strongly about when I come here. The kind of work, the scale of work which has happened. I think imagine just this place to be the world's biggest meditation hall with a lack of people coming and sitting here and meditating. Somebody needs some vision to actually think of something like this. To make this place as barren as it is, to get such species which are grown only in places where there is abundant rainfall, and to think that it is not rain which brings trees, but it is trees which bring us rain. I think that kind of a thought, I think, comes only from great wisdom. And I'm so very happy that I'm part of this wonderful institution and have the blessings of Daji for all the work we do. I think all of you are very young and the possibilities are immense. All we need to do, I think there's a lot of great words which have been said, but a lot of things which have not been said, which you have received just through the transmission which happens. I'm sure the effects of this will be known to you in your lives and in the people who interact with you. I think the change will definitely be very strong. I urge you all to stay on the path. Sometimes we don't see immediate results. We all are in a world where we need things very fast, fast food, fast internet, fast results, everything in a short way. But I think some things take a little bit of time. Have faith, stick with it, and you will see long, long lasting transformations, which are very, very important. As young children, as youth, Daji has already mentioned it to you. There's a lot of things which give us immediate gratification, things which make us very happy very quickly. We all want things fast. But trust me when I say this, the longer you hold the temptation to enjoy life, the better you're off, because the stronger your foundation will be and the fruits of your enjoyment will be much larger. So youth should be about learning, about gaining knowledge, about staying on the path. And I think only because, and I do believe it very, very strongly, you're not here because you want to be here. You're here because you're called for it. And I think it's very important that we take advantage of this and we stay on the path. And I'm sure years from now, you'll see what benefit this whole experience has been. I really thank Daji. I can't really ever enough thank him enough. But I think thank you, Daji, for showing us what is possible to us in our lives and also to the environment. I think the work which you do is truly inspirational. And this place, I think when people come, will realize what a masterpiece has been created. Thank you, Daji, for all your blessings.
So that was Pulela Gopichan sir, the international badminton coach who have created so many badminton stars for India who are shining at international level. So we are really proud of you sir for all your hard work and the history what you have created in the field of badminton all over the world. And we are also very happy to announce that we are very soon opening Heartfulness and Pulela Gopichan Badminton Academy in Kanha Shanti Vanam, a state of the art infrastructure which is personally guided by Daji and Gopichan sir. So we wish them all the best for this. And thank you so much, Gopichan sir, for your time and the inspirational, motivational talk what you gave to our students were really great. Thank you so much. So now here comes our youth volunteers, Saloni and Shalini, who are going to take forward.
A very good morning to all of you. This is Saloni. I'm back again talking to all of you. So we are at the day 3, and I request Shalini to take over.
Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene, and I hope you have had an invigorating time these past 2 days. The next speaker is someone we've been waiting to listen to for a long time. She's an inspiration and an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so the much awaited entrepreneur is here with us. She is Miss Alina, who started the Mitti Cafe at the age of 23 with the dream of showing the world the magic of abilities. Mitti Cafe works towards economic independence and dignity for persons with disabilities. This organization's outreach initiative helps create awareness about inclusion and disability rights. Alina is a 3-time TEDx speaker, has been featured in the Forbes list of 30 under 30 Asia. She is a Commonwealth Youth Awardee and so much more. Recently, she has been facilitated with the Niti Aayog Women Transforming India Award, Helen Keller Award, United Nations Intercultural Innovation Award, and also the TICON Young Female Entrepreneur Year of the Award. So I request all of you to welcome her with a warm round of applause. And here she is with us discussing her kindness story. As an entrepreneur, I understand that how difficult it is to manage people, and she's the one who's working excellently with disabled people and giving them a huge way of life. So here I welcome Alina. Over to you. Big round of applause for Alina, please.
The next few minutes that I'm going to be talking would be about y'all. I was in college, much like y'all are students, waiting for placements. And the presentation, we can just. And then I come across this person who changed my life. And, I'd just love to introduce you to this one person who's been absolutely life-changing for me. You want to know who he is? So his name is Nero. So Nero was an emperor in the ancient Roman Empire. Mighty rich. You see, he would win one war after the other and the other and the other. And one day he wins the biggest battle of his life. And when you win, what do you do? क्या करते हो आप? What do? You party, right? You throw a party, जश्न मनाते हो. So Nero decided to throw a party and he invited the who's who of Tinsel town. Kings and queens, princes and princesses from across 7 kingdoms. And as evening befell, Nero said that, bhai, party hai, we need some lights to make the party happening. So he decided to burn waste to generate light. He decided to burn the prisoners of war and the poor people who were captured, who he considered no more than waste. I was 23 years old then. I was waiting for placements when I see this one documentary and I meet Nero. And I realized that the problem is not Nero, because there'll always be Neros in this world. You know who the problem was? The problem was Nero's guests, as to how thousands of them could sing, dance, drink when fellow human beings burned and died. And I realized that I was one of Nero's guests. That is, if you feel something about anything and if you're not willing to take action, then you've taken a side. And that side is difficult. That side is that of the oppressor. I decided I will not sit for college placements. I decided I will not sit for college placements and instead started volunteering with organizations that work in the inclusion space. Which is when I realized that, bhai, the problem is not that there are 70 million people with disabilities in India and over 1 billion across the world. Wo problem hai hi nahi. You know what the problem is? The problem is the disability in our perceptions that stops us from seeing the magic in their abilities. I wanted to create a model that is visible for those who can't see tangible, interactive, and the success or the failure will be dependent on all of you, on the community. And what better than food to connect people to people? Food is a medium that connects civilizations, a friend to a friend, a mother to a child. It connects civilization. So food is a medium to generate livelihood, theek hai, and to create awareness about inclusion with every meal that we serve. The slides, can I get that on? Yeah, no, the previous slide. So when I started, and I'll cue you when I have to change the slide. So when I started Mitti Cafe, I started it with khali jeb, no money, empty pockets, failed sales attempts, multiple rejections. And and this is something that I want to tell all of you. That at the point na jab aapke paas kuch rehta nahi hai, when you have nothing, that's the point you're your strongest. You know why? Because you're desperate, you're leech-like. My first cafe was in a dilapidated tin shed full of generations of rats, which the student community helped me clean. 90% of my equipments for my first Mitti Cafe, right from the spoon, the second-hand oven, the fridge, were donated by absolute strangers, were donated by the community, because I went from door to door, house to house, shop to shop, asking them for support. Then you know what happened? Next slide. You see this picture here? I still remember the first day that this girl came in for the interview. She came in crawling because her family could not afford a wheelchair. You know, if you would ask her to hold this mic or a cup of coffee, her hands would shake and it would fall. A lot of things biology cannot explain. You know where this girl is today? Next slide. Today, this girl sits on her wheelchair and manages 10 other people with disabilities. She is the manager for our first cafe, and her name is Kirti. And as I talk to you, we have, next slide, we have hundreds of Kirtis across the 23 Mitti cafes that we have in India who've served 8 million meals and beverages. And every meal and beverage for us is an opportunity to create awareness about inclusion. We have people with physical, intellectual, and psychiatric disabilities running this entire movement by themselves. Next slide. We all know Mr. Narayan Murthy. Pata hai na? We all know Mr. Murthy. Infosys founder, a lot of us really like him. But the hero of the picture koi aur hai. You know who the hero of the picture is? Any guesses? Who could be the hero of the picture? Anyone from here? Who could be the hero of the picture? I heard, yes. The boy in the front. You know why? His name is Bhairappa. He's about 3 feet in height. He's got motor disability and intellectual disability. That means multiple disabilities. So now this boy, when he came to us, I've not cropped this picture, he came in barefoot. He did not know the concept of wearing slippers or even brushing his teeth. And the reason I call him the hero of the picture is that he's representative of hundreds and millions of Bhairappas across India and across the world. Because when Bhairappa came in, he was rejected at 80 plus jobs, which is when we got lucky. You know where he is today? Next slide. This is where he is today. You see that graph? You see what's written in green? He's the team lead. He's leading our entire team inside our cafe at Infosys. Not just that. Not just that. Bhairappa was told he will never find a job. Abhi to job bhi mil gaya. Team lead bhi he's become. He's leading this team. But Bhairappa was told he will never find love because of his disability. Next slide, and then this is your favorite slide. Then this happened. He found the love of his life, Rupa. She was working at our cafe at Wipro. They met. I don't even know. They're super busy. I don't know when they met. They fell in love. And then you know what happened? Next slide. They got married last year. And not just that, we have, next slide, we have a lot of love stories at Mitti Cafe. We have Gauri and her husband, they're 100% visually impaired. We have Ratna and Baswaraj, both of them are wheelchair abled. We have Sushma Sumukha, both of them have autism, which means that love has no boundaries. Love has no boundary. Disability to kuch nahi hai. And disability, it is the disability in our perception which is the boundary, not their disability at all. Next slide. COVID happened, 13 of our cafes went into hibernation. Problem आता है ना life में? आता है, right? सबके life में problem आता है. ये तो COVID आ गया, मतलब all our cafes are shut. What do? We went back to the community. Remember that same community who helped this girl start her first cafe when she did not have money? The local vegetable vendors donated, I still remember the local vegetable vendors, they donated their baskets that became our lampshades. The local electrician refused to charge me that 300 rupees to repair that second-hand fridge of ours. The local printer, Shrikant uncle, said that, Beta, jab kamao, double aake dena, abhi I'm not going to take a rupee from you. We went back to the community and we told them that hundreds and thousands of our people and their dreams are at stake today. In less than a week, we could raise over 12 million and support all our team members right from 20 rupees to lakhs is what people supported us with. And not just that. Next slide. It gives me immense pride to say, and this will get pride to your hearts. It gives me immense pride to say that during the COVID-19 crisis, one of the boys, so we also rehabilitate people with disabilities who are either begging or are homeless from the street. One of them, Hemant, he's got cerebral palsy and autism. He came to me and he tells me, Didi, log bhuke hai aur hame khana banana aata hai. There are people and we know how to cook. And he continues by saying, and imagine his intellectual disability. We see na mental disability. Log mental disability ko sochte pagal hai, aimless hai. Now this boy and his intellectual disability, he comes to me and he says, Didi, if we start cooking, agar hum log khana banaye, koi bhukha nahi rahega. With this boy who's got autism, his vision, right from a single-handed warrior, Murthy, who works with one hand, Lakshmi, single mother of 2 children. You know, ek din she had seen this newspaper ad that said world tour. Today she works hard. She works hard that her children will study today, and tomorrow they're going to take her on a world tour. Gauri, who's got 100% visual impairment. Kirti on her wheelchair, all of these people together, next slide, have served over 3 million meals to the economically vulnerable and the homeless during the COVID-19 pandemic. Next slide. All of this have been done by people with physical, intellectual, and psychiatric disabilities. People we think कि भाई they cannot support themselves. You know, we've all gone through lockdowns na apne life mein. If we don't go outside the house, then it's a problem. If we go outside the house, then it's a problem. So much of tension if we lose our jobs. Imagine people with disabilities are kept in a lockdown for a lifetime because of our perceptions. How painful. And it is these people with disabilities, not only did they help themselves, but they helped the nation in need during the COVID-19 crisis is because of the compassion, the kindness that they had in their hearts. And just all that we did is realized it, cherished it. Next slide. Not only that, our people, they said that, bhai, we don't want money sitting at home. We want to come back and work. Then next slide. Not only did we survive, but we were able to scale. Earlier, Mitti cafes were only within corporates. We started Mitti cafes. Next slide, you keep changing the slides. We started Mitti cafes in hospitals. We started Mitti cafes in residential complexes. All of these run by people with disabilities during the COVID-19 pandemic. When 13 of our cafes shut down, we said we will not, agar corporates band hai, we will start it within hospitals. We will start it within residential complexes. We decided that so many NGOs who are making wonderful products, right, involving people with disabilities, acid attack survivors, tribal women, all of their businesses went up. They were not able to sell because they did not have online presence. We started gifting as a vertical. We could sell over 2 lakh gifts in less than 6 months. And all of this with the support and the compassion of the community. Next slide. Next slide. Yes. And this slide is for you all. You know, often we think that problems to bahut sara hai, right? We're talking about hunger and we're talking about millions of people. We're talking about homelessness. We're talking about millions of people. We're talking about discrimination and we're talking about millions of people. And then we think, bhai, if we do anything, what difference does it make? And I used to think the same. And then I came across this one small story that has changed my life. It is a Starfish Story. So there was a high tide, and a lot of y'all must have heard it, but I'll just give a perspective to it. There was a high tide, and there were millions of starfishes on the seashore. So there was a young girl, she was picking up one starfish, throwing it into the water, the other starfish, throwing it into the water. And a wise man comes and asks her, young girl, what are you doing? She continues to do what she is doing. This time he asks her more assertively, yaar, what are you doing? The shore is full of millions of starfishes and here you are, ek ko utha rahe ho, you're throwing. The other one, is this some kind of a game? What difference does it make? The others will in any case die. You know, what she has said has changed my perception about change, and I hope it changes yours too. She picks up one starfish. She throws it into the water and she tells the wise man it made a difference to that one. For me, my first starfish was Kirti. And every day it is that pursuit, that hunger to find the other and the other and the other starfish till we reach out to the billionth starfish across the world for whom economic independence and dignity is not yet a reality. And let's replace the word social work, bolte na, we glorify it. Let's replace it with social duty, right? And a lot of things change. And why social duty? Because everything that the community has done for you, your family has done for you, your school has done for you, Daaji is doing for you. It is a debt, yaar, udhar hai hamara towards the society, that today we are sitting and we are able to talk. When millions of young girl children are dropping out of school, millions wouldn't have got the opportunity to be here. Millions are homeless. It is a social debt to pay it. And as one of my favorite poets says, and I'll end with this, that मेरे सीने में नहीं तो तेरे सीने में सही हो कहीं भी आग लेकिन आग जलनी चाहिए. That is, we'll all die one day. But irrespective of whether that ignition is in my heart or irrespective of whether it is in your heart, that ignition has to continue. Just that one life that you change and just that one person you inspire, who would do the same, and the world will change for the better. And the magic is in each one of you. The power is in each one of you. And I know that you all have the potential to unlock it, because there is nothing, nothing, nothing more powerful than kindness and courage in this world. And you all have it. All of you all have it. The magic is in you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alina. Your stories of hopes and dreams और आपकी starfish वाली story तो हमेशा हमारे साथ रहेगी. She is truly an inspiration. Can we have a huge round of applause for her? So today, thank you so much, Alina. So today, आज हम इस conference के day 3 पर हैं. डे 1 में हमने काइंडनेस टुवर्ड्स सेल्फ की बात करी और हमने सीखा कि हम अपने साथ कैसे काइंड और कंपैशनेट हो सकते हैं. डे 2 में हमने काइंडनेस टुवर्ड्स अदर्स की बात करी और हमने बहुत ही ज़्यादा एस्टीम्ड और रिस्पेक्टेड लोगों से जाना कि हम औरों की तरफ काइंडनेस कैसे दिखा सकते हैं. आज हम डे 3 पर हैं.
डे 3 पर हम बात करेंगे काइंडनेस टुवर्ड्स नेचर के बारे में. आप सबको यहाँ कैसा लगा नेचर? हाउ वाज द नेचर? Yes? Can you give us a shootout? Raise your hands. Beautiful. The weather has been so pleasant. Great feeling. Amazing photos. So the weather has been really kind.
हम कहाँ पर हैं? क्या नाम है इस आश्रम का? Where are we? Great. So we are at Kanha Shanti Vanam. Before Kanha Shanti Vanam was set up here, everything that you see around you used to be barren land. It was red soil. यहाँ पे कुछ भी नहीं था. Just empty soil which was not fit for any kind of plant growth. और अब देखिए हमारे आसपास कितनी सारी greenery है. In fact, there are more than 4 lakh trees and plants growing here today. More than 700 different species of vegetation grows here today. और यहाँ पे 50 rare species है plant के. और आपको पता है लोग कहते थे कि हैदराबाद में coconut trees नहीं उगते. और अब कान्हा में coconut trees उगते हैं.
Thank you for the appreciation, all of you. And आप सब ने जब आप टहल रहे होंगे तो बहुत सारे birds देखे होंगे. तो शुरुआत में यहाँ पे केवल कौवे, कबूतर और 2-4 बर्ड्स दिखते थे. आज यहाँ 153 स्पीशीज ऑफ बर्ड्स है. क्या आपने किसी अलग बर्ड को नोटिस किया? Yes, some new birds. I see smiling faces. That sounds magical, right?
And this magic has been achieved by our own beloved Daaji और हमारी Heartfulness अभ्यासियों की टीम. So can we have a huge round of applause for them? हम सब जिन्होंने यहाँ पे इवनिंग में वॉक्स किए हैं पेड़ों के बीच में ठंडी ठंडी हवाओं के बीच में, कहते हैं काइंड हार्ट्स आर द गार्डन्स, काइंड थॉट्स आर द रूट्स, काइंड वर्ड्स आर द ब्लॉसम्स, काइंड डीड्स आर द फ्रूट्स.
Wow. So now, on that note, I would like to invite our next guest speaker. सुबह से सारे power packed sessions हमने देखे हैं, and the next speaker we have is also called as the Waterman of India. उनका नाम है श्री राजेंद्र सिंह. His NGO, Tarun Bharat, which was founded in 1975, has continuously endeavored to bring water through the johards, rainwater storage tanks, check dams, and other path-breaking techniques. His continued water conservation efforts have resulted in reviving five rivers in Rajasthan and bringing back water to 1,000 villages. A big round of applause for as we welcome him. He has been awarded the very famous Magsaysay Award in 2001, the Stockholm Water Prize in 2015. So ladies and gentlemen, we are really honored and proud to have with us Mr. Rajendra Singh, the Waterman of India. Sir, we are waiting for sir. Is he around? Yeah, so he's just coming. And so at the end, while we are almost at the end, while sir comes, let me just thank all our sponsors. So the main event is sponsored by Reliance Digital and Jio. Our knowledge partners are UNESCO, MGIP, and empowered in collaboration with AICTE. So you will have all the sponsors on, if you can see your certificates, you'll have them all. Then the event is co-sponsored by Z Scalar and the very own Radio 94.3 and our very own supported volunteer initiative by the Heartfulness Learning Center. Let's give a round of applause for all of the volunteers for having this show running, all the sponsors. And let's wait a couple of minutes for sir. Yeah.
We are being told that Mr. Rajendra Singh, he's here.
Thank you. कान्हा वनम के इस पंडाल में आप सबसे बात करते हुए मुझे आनंद हो रहा है. आज हमने इस मंच की शुरुआत में सुना कि कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी और सिंपलिसिटी ये दो सूत्र हैं हमारे जीवन में हमें फिर से ग्लोबल टीचर बनाने के. यदि हम दुनिया की समस्याओं का समाधान ढूंढना चाहते हैं तो जब हमारा लाइफ स्टाइल सादगीपूर्ण होगा और जटिलताओं से मुक्त होगा तो हमारे जीवन में प्रकृति के प्रति प्यार और मोहब्बत होगी. दोस्तों, मैं राजस्थान से आया हूं जहां दुनिया की सबसे कम बारिश होती है. लोग बेपानी होकर उजड़ गए थे. जब उनको प्रकृति से प्यार हुआ और उन्होंने अपने पुराने ज्ञान तंत्र से बादलों को पकड़ना सीखा और बादलों से निकली पानी की बूंदों को धरती में भरना सीखा तो ये देश का एक बड़ा हिस्सा जो बेपानी था वो पानीदार बन गया. हमें लगता है कि ये कान्हा वनम भी वैसा एक प्रयास है जो हमें प्रकृति के पास लेके जाता है और प्रकृति से जोड़ता है. इस 21वीं शताब्दी में यूं तो दुनिया की बड़ी समस्याएं हैं, समस्याओं से भरी हुई ये दुनिया है, पर इन समस्याओं का समाधान केवल और केवल इस प्रकृति के प्रति प्यार और सम्मान में है. जब हमारे जीवन में प्रकृति के प्रति प्यार बढ़ता है तो हमारे जीवन की जटिलताएं और हमारे जीवन की जो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी है वो हमसे दूर जाके इस प्रकृति से सिखाने का दौर शुरू करती है. आप जानते हैं कि जब तक भारतीय लोग अपने भगवान को पहचानते थे तब तक वो इस दुनिया के गुरु थे. भगवान कौन है? भगवान किसी मंदिर, मस्जिद और गिरजाघर में नहीं रहता. भगवान हमारे साथ रहता है. भगवान का मतलब है भय से भूमि, गय से गगन, वैसे वायु, अ से अग्नि और न से नीर, ये जो पंच महाभूत हैं, यही हमारा भगवान है। दोस्तों, आप जानते हैं कि जब इंसान इस भगवान के साथ रहता है तो ये भगवान हमारे जीवन की समृद्धि को, हमारे जीवन की सादगी को और हमारे जीवन में समरसता से भर के हमें फिर अपने आप कुछ करने का रास्ता सिखाता है। इसलिए हम सबको इस 21वीं शताब्दी की जो ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, उन ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम के लोकल और ट्रेडिशनल सॉल्यूशन क्या हो सकते हैं, उनको देखने की ज़रूरत है, उनको समझने की ज़रूरत है। हम आज इस ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम में जो क्लाइमेट चेंज और ग्लोबल वार्मिंग की है, उसको अपनी स्पिरिचुअल साइंस, जिसको मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ साइंस विद सेंस, जब हम साइंस विद सेंस धरती पर, प्रकृति पर और मानवता पर काम करते हैं तो ये प्रकृति और धरती प्रॉस्परस होती है और हम समृद्धि के रास्ते पर चलते हैं। मैं बस इतना ही कहना चाहता हूं कि पिछले 45 सालों के सामाजिक काम में हमने भारत की जमीन पर 13 मरी हुई सूखी नदियों को पुनर्जीवित किया। 17 लाख लोग जो बेपानी होकर, लाचार, बेकार, बीमार होकर, उजड़कर, अपनी जगह छोड़कर, मजबूर होकर शहरों में गए थे, इन 45 वर्षों के सामाजिक काम ने उनको वापस उनकी जमीन पर लाकर काम दे दिया। अब वो खेती करते हैं। हमें लगता है कि जब इंसानियत इस प्रकृति के साथ जुड़ जाती है तो प्रकृति हम सबको ढेर सारा प्यार और ढेर सारी समृद्धि हमें सौंप देती है। आज भारत की नदियों पर संकट है। भारत की नदियां नाले बन गई हैं। नदियां नाले जब बनती हैं जब भ्रष्टाचार होता है। नदियों को नाले बनाने का काम भ्रष्टाचार करता है और नालों को नदी बनाने का काम सदाचार करता है। भारत को एक बार फिर इस दुनिया को दिखाने की जरूरत है कि हम सदाचारी हैं। इसलिए वॉइस ऑफ द रिवर, नदियों की आवाज बनके इस धरती की हेल्थ को और रिवर हेल्थ को और ह्यूमन हेल्थ को ठीक करने के काम में जुटेंगे तो अच्छा होगा। मैं समझता हूं ये जो कान्हा वनम है, ये एक ऐसा ही प्रयास है धरती के एक छोटे हिस्से की हेल्थ को ठीक करने का। ये जो धरती की हेल्थ है, प्रकृति की हेल्थ है, इसको ठीक करने की इस वक्त सबसे बड़ी ज़रूरत है। मुझे यहाँ आके अच्छा लगा। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
थैंक यू सो मच सर। हम हमेशा सोचते हैं कि अगर हमें समृद्धि चाहिए तो हमें नेचर के अगेंस्ट जाना पड़ेगा। हमने हमेशा देखा है कि लोग पेड़ काट के बिल्डिंग्स बना देते हैं, राइट। और जब हम राजेंद्र सिंह सर की टॉक सुन रहे थे तो हमने ये जाना कि कैसे नेचर के साथ चल के भी हम समृद्धि पा सकते हैं। एंड उनके काम से भी हमने ये चीज़ सीखी है। सो कैन वी हैव अ ह्यूज राउंड ऑफ अपलॉज फॉर हिम। इट्स अ रेवोल्यूशनरी, न्यू एंड कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट आइडिया फॉर अस. And I'm sorry we are making you climb the stairs again, sir, but he will now be felicitated by dear Daaji for all his wonderful work. Oh, he will.
कि जब हम प्रकृति को लूट कर धनवान बनने की कोशिश करते हैं तो ये जो मॉडर्न एजुकेशन सिस्टम है, हमें ये केवल मैक्सिमम एक्सट्रैक्शन इन मिनिमम टाइम सिखाता है। ये जो लूट का फ्लो है उसको फास्ट करना सिखाता है और उसी में से हमारा डिस्प्लेसमेंट होता है, डिस्ट्रक्शन होता है और डिजास्टर होता है। जब हम प्रकृति को प्यार करते हैं तो पीस एंड प्रॉस्पेरिटी एंड इंडेक्स ऑफ हैप्पीनेस ऊपर जाता है। इसलिए हमें यदि सचमुच भारत को फिर से पीस और प्रॉस्पेरिटी में गुरु बनना है, तो प्रकृति को प्यार करना शुरू करो आज से। जब तुम प्रकृति को प्यार करना शुरू करोगे तो भगवान तुम्हारे पास आ जाएगा, अपने आप आ जाएगा। उसके लिए कुछ बुलाने की जरूरत नहीं है। इसलिए भगवान को यदि पास बुलाना है तो प्रकृति का प्यार शुरू करना होगा। धन्यवाद, आपने मुझे दोबारा बुलाया।
थैंक यू कि आप वापस आ गए हमारे लिए. थैंक यू सो मच सर. वी आर फेलिसिटेटिंग राजेंद्र जी by Dr. Nivedita Shreyans, who's the convener of the event. Thank you so much sir. Thank you.
Our next speaker is someone who is an AVP at an international bank. जब भी हम एक इंटरनेशनल बैंक के वाइस असिस्टेंट AVP के बारे में सोचते हैं तो हमारे माइंड में कैसी इमेज आती है, राइट? वी थिंक ऑफ समबडी who is working really hard and making a lot of money. But Aditya Tiwari, who is our next speaker, is also a social reformer. He is a human rights activist. He's a change maker. He's a TEDx speaker. He's a world record holder. And he's a global shaper at the World Economic Forum. Can we have a huge round of applause for these fantastic achievements? He is working for the rights of orphans and special needs in India. आदित्य ने 2016 में एक चाइल्ड अडॉप्ट किया था जिनके स्पेशल नीड्स हैं. उस समय आदित्य सिर्फ 28 इयर्स के थे. फिर वो एक सिंगल पेरेंट बने एंड ही इज़ द यंगेस्ट एंड द फर्स्ट सिंगल पेरेंट टू अडॉप्ट अ चाइल्ड विद स्पेशल नीड्स इन इंडिया. एज अ रिजल्ट इंडिया का अडॉप्शन लॉ चेंज हुआ था और ये चेंज इम्प्लीमेंट हुआ था 2015 में. वी हैव आदित्य बिटवीन अस टुडे and we can't wait to hear what he has to say. Can we have a huge round of applause for him one more time?
Namaste everyone. My name is Aditya Tiwari and my life changed after meeting Avnish in an orphanage. The child you look at, he was abandoned by the biological parents in an orphanage and they thought because of his medical condition, he has an intellectual disability, chromosome disorder, that is Down syndrome. And immediately after birth, they left him in an orphanage and they thought he will die. And here my life started from self-transformation. I met with him and I saw him and they said he is mentally retarded, physically handicapped and nobody wants to adopt him. And I decided if nobody wants, so I will adopt this child. But I was not aware what are the adoption law. At the age of 26, as a software engineer by profession, we don't know what is adoption, what are laws. And I came to know that I'm not eligible to adopt any child in India because minimum age for single parent was 30 years to adopt a child. So I am 26, I was not. I requested the government officials, could you please help me in adopting this child in exceptional case? And they said, who you are? औकात क्या है तुम्हारी? You're just a common man, be in your limits. We can't consider your case as an exceptional. You're not a Bharat Ratna or a celebrity. So this is how, unfortunately, people for common men treated here. I keep fighting. Avnish was the motivational factor for me. That he was saying, just keep fighting, don't give up. I have to travel 1800 kilometers because he is in another state. I work in Bhopal. I work in Pune and he was in Bhopal. Family members, they stopped talking to me. They said, you are doing something which we are not, you're not supposed to. Log kya kahenge? What other people will think of it? Why you want to adopt a child? So I was isolated by the family, friends, society, and I was alone in this battle. I went to the Supreme Court. I filed so many PILs against this. I fight for, this child was also in a child trafficking. So he was not in the government record. There was no identity for this child. I fight for it and later on, when we won the case against the child trafficking, hundreds, thousands of children were saved from child trafficking. The organizations who were involved in this child trafficking were banned in India for adoption across India. And on 1st of August 2015, when this child was 15 months in orphanage, considering his case, Indian adoption law was changed. The constitution was changed considering this child. WCD minister, she visited to the orphanage from Delhi to Bhopal just to look at him and she said, I want to look at the child. Everybody is saying the child is a mentally retarded, intellectual disability. So उस पागल बच्चे के लिए एक software engineer इतना पागल क्यों हो रहा है? She came, she met with the child in Bhopal orphanage, and she said, get the adoption process done ASAP and give this custody of a child to his father. I got the custody of Avnish. I got the custody of Avnish on New Year Day. It's 1st of Jan 2016. So the whole universe is celebrating his freedom from the orphanage life as a new year. So this child was born with a Down syndrome. Apart from that, he have other 10 health issues: constipation, thyroid, squint eyes, 2 hole in a heart, undescended testes, IQ is less than 50. And they said he won't able to stand on his own feet ever in his life because both the problem with the knees. So he can't stand on his life. Then he has a sleep apnea. He can't sleep in night because the oxygen level goes down in his body. So these are the other 10 health issues he is having apart from Down syndrome. When I got his custody, Avnish got the family, but my family, they asked me to leave the house. So I got abandoned because they don't want me to called as their son. They feel ashamed of it because I adopted a child as a single parent who have a medical condition. So our journey starts from here. We managed to make 4 changes in the Constitution of India until now for orphan and disability. India is the largest country where we have the orphan number of children. It's more than 50 million, 5 crore. So it is helping them to the whole community. He is representing to the whole community who are orphan. Because when we look at orphan, we look at them with a sympathy that only they will get the food, the basic things, that's what it is. But no, he is giving a hope to all the orphans that what he have achieved. His name is registered under world record at the age of 2. At the age of 3, his story twice invited in TED Talk at TEDx Surat and in Tata Institute of Social Science. At the age of 6, he was registered as an athlete in Special Olympic Bharat. And at the age of 7, he is the only child in the universe who went for a trek at Mount Everest. So in April this year, he went for a trek at Mount Everest and everybody was saying nobody have done, even the typical child. Why you want to go with a child who have a medical condition? And I said, I am not going for a child, I am going for a whole community of an orphan and a community of a medical condition to give them a hope that the nature has a power to heal. The nature has a power to give them where they can go, give them a wings. So we can give a try. And they said, you are not going to come back. I said, I don't have any regret for it. At the age of 32, we managed to make 4 changes in the constitution, holding 3 world records. Those achievements are helping millions of people. We make the changes in the system, so we can't reach to every person who are orphan. We can't reach to every person who have a medical condition. But we make the changes in the system, so even we are there or not, it will going to help to the whole community, and it will set the new benchmark for them. So he got a training for a year in Ladakh and in Kashmir, and then after we tried and we reached on Nepal on 13th of April. It was heavily raining in Nepal. All the expedition was closed. And the person to whom we were coordinating there for a month before going to Nepal, and when we reached there, he said, sir, aap to sahi mein aa gaye bacche ko leke. I thought you're not going to come because it's a Mount Everest. And nobody have done it at this age, not a typical child. Are you sure you want to go? Are you okay if you are not going to come back? Your family will be fine. Absolutely fine. We are not here to give any excuses for our mission. We are here to hold an Indian flag at the top of the world by a child who is 7 years of age. On 21st April, we are on the top of the world at 7:45. This child, you are very lucky that you are getting the education. Most of you are in the colleges. He is just a nursery dropout. 70% in the children, 70% children with intellectual disability don't get the education in developing countries, even not in India. Yes, Avi. Hardly few percent they will get the basic education until the pre-primary or a primary or the primary max to max. There is no good education facilities or a medical facilities in India. We are fighting with, in fact, the insurance companies are not ready to cover their any medical expenses. For his undescended testes, there is a chance that he can get a tumor, cancer, even now. That problem he has, that is one of the birth defect. But he is enjoying his life. What I learned from Avnish is that whatever happened to your life, the child was abandoned on a same day when he was born by a biological parents. He born with a medical condition and 10 other health issues. But he not doing any complaint to the God why this has happened to me. He is always smiling. He is always trying to be with others, very social and not. And the best part is he is not harming the nature. He loves to do plantation. The first thing he did when he come to Shanti Vanam, Kanha Shanti Vanam is the plantation. Yes. And last but not the least, he also loves animals. Until 2015, you might know about, everybody was talking about tigers. There are only 1,200 left in the country. And when I got his custody of Avnish in 2016, and I took him zoo and he was looking at one tiger, and then we decided we will work for a safe tiger project in India. And we adopted a tiger, so he adopted a tiger in the zoo. Earlier there were only 4 to 5 tigers, now we have 14 in Indore Zoo. For the story, for the work we are doing, for the community of orphans and people with medical condition, was invited in United Nations at Geneva headquarters. He got the youngest changemaker award by Global Economic Communication Community in 2020, and this year he is nominated for the 3 national awards. For his trek to the Mount Everest, India, we do various discrimination based on the caste, religion, gender. Parenting is dominated by female. When it comes to parenting, nobody will consider a male as a parent. They said, "Tum kya karoge? Tum nahi kar sakte." The first word he told when he was in an orphanage is "Papa," not a ma. And because of the upbringing, I am learning parenting from him. I am learning from him, and still I am learning. But I got a World Best Mother tag in 2020 on International Women's Day because of the achievement we have. So here he is Avnish, who was abandoned, just a 7-year-old child, and changing the life of millions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aditya and Avnish. Avnish is a truly remarkable and happy and beautiful child, as we have all seen. Can we have a huge round of applause for Avnish? Avnish is saying Jai Hind to all of us. Aditya is felicitated by Dr. Nivedita Shreyans, who is the convener of the event, and she's a prominent educationist and director of the Pillai Institute of Management. She's also a heartfulness trainer. Thank you so much, Aditya, for showing us that a different life and a different dream brings joy not only to us, but to multiple other people, and there is an opportunity and space for all of us to do well. हम सबका अपने जीवन में बेहतर करने का एक स्कोप हमेशा ही रहता है. So thank you so much for that, Aditya. We can see Avnish is still on stage and very involved in the conversation. Next up, we have Kiran Beer Sethi. She is a designer. She is an educationist. She is an education reformer and a social entrepreneur. And personally, she has been my inspiration and icon for many, many years. She set up the Riverside School in Ahmedabad, followed by Approach, and finally Design for Change. Design for Change अभी change का दुनिया में सबसे largest movement है, जो बच्चों के लिए और बच्चों के द्वारा बनाया गया है. Over the years, Riverside School और Design for Change ने several awards जीते हैं. जैसे कि the Earth Prize and the Rockefeller Innovation Award. We also have in attendance her husband, Mr. Geet Sethi. He is a professional player of English billiards. He dominated the sports in the 1990s. He's a 9-time world champion. And they are parents of 2 lovely children, Jazz and Geet, who are leaders in their own might. I request Kashish, who is also a Heartfulness volunteer, to facilitate this conversation. Welcome on stage, ma'am. It is an honor to have you here. Can we have a huge round of applause for her? And personally, to all those in the audience, if you're ever in Ahmedabad, please make it a point to visit the Riverside School. It's a beautiful space for children and adults both.
Hello. Hello, hello. The mic? Okay. Hello. One second. Hello, yeah. Good morning, everyone. We are delighted to have Kiran ma'am here. And I will be opening the questions to the audience a little while later. So if anyone has a question, you could already just come forward. And before that, I would like to ask Kiran ma'am the first question. For any of us who are passionate about making a difference, what's the first way to get started?
Hi, everybody. I just thank you for inviting us to Kanha. It's been such a revelation. I think the answer is in Kanha itself. If you say 5 years ago, there was a barren land, and then the first tree got planted, right? And it's always the first thing that gets done. You know, what happens in most of us, we try to give excuses. अच्छा कल कर लेंगे, या परसों कर लेंगे, या अगले हफ्ते कर लेंगे. आज तो मैं बड़ी tired हूँ. You know, and so I think the first thing to get started is remove the excuses and find the reason. If the reason is to plant that one tree, if the reason is to adopt Avi, if the reason is to start a Mitti Cafe, it's the first thing. So I have just learned कि बहुत सोचना मत करो. You know, सोचना उसके बाद आ जाएगा. So I think जब हम सोचने लगते हैं ना, बड़े excuses आ जाते हैं.
That is so true.
Yeah, so I would say सोचो मत करो.
Thank you. Yes. तो जब हम सोच ही रहे हैं, and बहुत सारे areas हैं जिस पर हम focus कर सकते हैं. There is poverty, health and well-being, climate change. So, according to you, what are the top 3 priorities that young people can focus on?
You know, you can't decide the priority for somebody else. When I started Riverside, priority नहीं था education बदलना. Priority था मेरे बच्चे का education बदलना. So it was a very simple story of a mother. It was not about education, right? तो मेरी ये राय है, don't let anybody else give you a priority. It should be yours. But till you start figuring out where your priority is, start working with people in the areas you enjoy working in. Just for instance, when that girl talked about, you know, not doing the placement, and she said, I'll go and start working in NGOs, and then I'll find that seed. And once that seed gets planted in my heart, bas, heartfulness hi ho jata hai.
Thank you. What has been your biggest challenge in leading your initiatives?
What has been my biggest challenge? How long do you have? I'm actually a fan of looking at everything as an opportunity and not as a challenge. So for me, जब कुछ आ जाता है ऐसे चलो देखते हैं क्या कर लेंगे, कुछ तो करेंगे. So I think for me, life I've realized never gets easier. It never gets easier, but you just get better at dealing with life because you just get the skill sets to, look at it with more compassion and more kindness and not with frustration and anger. I think the greatest learning that I've had is to remove frustration and make it into compassion. So now to koi challenge nahi hai. Bring it on, so.
I remember Daaji sharing yesterday that there's a difference being passionate about something and also being compassionate about something. So I really love the fact that you brought compassion into it. Yes. So some of these problems that we have in this world today are very complicated and get tied up with politics. So how can we create an impact when everything seems so massive?
Yeah, I think one thing is big problems are made up of little parts. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. Look at all the pieces, right? And when you put the pieces together, then it makes the big picture, right? It solves the big picture. So I would say, don't worry. There's a picture, but take the piece that you have the skill sets to solve. Take that piece, and then the second piece will come together, and then the third piece will come. Somebody else will be doing a little part on the corner of the jigsaw puzzle, right? And collectively, and again I keep saying, it's a collective greater good that manages. It's not a single person story, right? Just look at Kanha. It's a collection of all these hearts that have come together, to make this big picture of Kanha. So for me, it's small little things that you do every day that makes the big picture come true.
I love that. Thank you. Based on what you know now, what's one thing you would have done differently at the start of your career?
Not become a mother? No. I think God had a plan. All I had to do is follow through. So I am super glad about all the hits and misses that happened because I don't think I'll be here at Kanha if that was not true. So for me, I wouldn't have changed a thing. Yeah.
This is a fun question before we open up to the audience. If you could send one WhatsApp message to every person in the world, what would it be?
You only have today. You only have today.
Do we have anyone in the audience who would like and ask a question to Kiran ma'am?
मेरा favorite hero कौन है? मेरा favorite no? मेरी favorite movie कौन सी है? We have a question? We actually have a question from the audience. I'm so happy.
Hello, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Since you're an educationist, I just wanted to put forth this question to you. So, what is the concept of merit, or what is the ideology behind merit? Because all of us here are running behind merit, credit. So, how do you see merit? And in your words, how is it in the big picture?
Do you go to IIT?
I'm studying, I'm doing CA.
CA, okay. I think this is a terrific question, thank you. I've actually been very blessed to shift the focus from merit to excellence. Excellence is a very personal pursuit and you have to have that competition, what is competition with your own self. As you can see, I'm married to a 9-time world billiards champion. Okay, in sports, the only thing you focus is on bettering your own skill. And the moment you focus on yourself and not kiske badle mein main merit kar raha hu, believe you me, nobody can stop you. So for me, the focus of excellence is much greater than focusing on the marks. मैं हमेशा बोलती हूँ, education in India has said, आप सिर्फ markable हो, remarkable तो बिल्कुल नहीं हो. तो हमें remarkable बनना है, and that comes from your own skill set, your own quest of excellence. तो उस पे ध्यान दो.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And do smile a lot more. Nice smile.
There's one more question there.
Hello, ma'am. Myself, Sakshi Gupta. And you just said that you're a mother, you're a social entrepreneur, and you are a game changer as well. So, how do you manage all these roles together? I mean, so there must be time now that one role is coming in between.
Sakshi, I never said I'm a mother role, change maker and everything. Mother, yes. Everything else are just titles. They really don't matter, right? So for me, again, I've learned कि दो चीज़ों में मुझे ध्यान करना है, my work and my family. So I have removed distractions from my life over time. मैं कभी मुंडन पे नहीं जाती हूँ, मैं शादी पे कोई अभी नहीं बुलाता है. So I have realized कि मेरे भी 24 घंटे हैं, आपके भी हैं. I want to make the most of my 24 hours. And I don't want to have the distractions come to try to pull me away from the two most important things, my family and my work. So now, like I said, I don't care. और मैं बड़ी shameless हूँ, तो मैं बोलती हूँ नहीं, मुझे नहीं आना है. You know, to say no to the right things is I think, a massive superpower you will learn. Yeah, so.
Thank you so much.
No.
Thank you so much for your wonderful answers, Kiran ma'am. Before we wrap up the session for today, the final question, which the reason for all we've gathered here today, Rising with Kindness Youth Conference, how has kindness shaped you as a person?
You know, it's a lovely question. It's like asking somebody, how do you breathe? You know, I don't think one can identify, oh, I breathe because I take in air and I remove oxygen. There are all those, the kind of scientific ways one can explain just the whole idea of life and love and breathing. I think for me, kindness has just, yesterday I was saying something to, I think, Vandana, who came to pick us up. I said, the world becomes smaller when your heart becomes bigger, right? And so I think for me, kindness is just that. I have been super blessed with so much love given to me and so much kindness given to me. So I will be very ungrateful to life if I don't give it back. So for me, being kind is just like my heartbeat now. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Not at all. Thank you, everybody. And smile more, even behind your masks.
Yes. Thank you so much, Kiran ma'am and Kashish, for that fantastic conversation. Listening to Kiran ma'am for the past 5 years has been the highlights of my years and my time. And I know we have all taken away a lot from this conversation as well. To felicitate her, I welcome Vishwas on stage. Vishwas is a core committee member of the youth, an active volunteer, and somebody who we all look up to for his engagement and involvement in the community. Thank you so much, Vishwas. And thank you so much, Kiran ma'am and Kashish, for the fantastic few minutes and the insights जो आपने हमारे साथ share किए. Thank you so much. Before we move on, I have just 2 announcements. The first announcement is a very exciting thing. We have Rising with Kindness Youth Conference T-shirts available for all of you to buy in the N1 tent. So in the lunch break or at any point in today, please go ahead and get your T-shirts. We also have a photo booth set up in front of the conference with props. You can take photos to share on social media. You know our hashtags, Rising with Kindness and Heartfulness. And you will also have day 1 and 2 feedback QR codes being put up after lunch, where you can give feedback for the 2 days. Next up, we have the felicitation for the UNESCO MGIEP team. Saloni, will you please do the honors?
Thank you, Shaleen. So I request all the Knowledge Partner members, UNESCO team, who is around to come up on stage. We would like to felicitate them for all their support. The UNESCO MGIEP team, please. All of you, give them a round of applause for being our knowledge partner. We have Ms. Nirmala Mehendale coming up on stage. I request Mr. Bajpayee ji and Ramesh Krishnan ji to felicitate all the members here up on stage. And we have a team of Heartfulness volunteers felicitating all of them for their constant support. Please give them all a round of applause.
For the past 2 days, we have been attending fantastic events and spaces hosted and facilitated by all of these members who have worked truly, truly hard to bring these opportunities and leaders to us. So let's keep the applause going while they're on stage. The ideas and thoughts जो उन्होंने हमारे सामने रखे हैं have been revolutionary and I'm sure हम यहाँ से जाएंगे सिर्फ और सिर्फ kindness के बारे में सोचते हुए. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you so much. A group photo with the entire UNESCO MGIEP team.
Let's keep the applause going. As we are clapping for them, we are thinking of the spaces that have been hosted in the past 2 days. There was a full room yesterday, being so engaged with all the wonderful conversations that were happening. There was a panel discussion on the different facets of kindness. Thank you so much, team, for creating those spaces and opportunities for us.
A big thank you to all of you once again and all our coordinators.
So we are so happy that UNESCO MGIP is our knowledge partner, and we are grateful to you for all the support you are given to organize this wonderful event, and thank you for getting all the best of the speakers available in India and world. Thank you so much for being such a great partner, and we wish you all the best for all the missions what you have in UNESCO plans. Thank you, all of you. They are here for last 3 days. The complete team is working day and night to see to it that how they can motivate students and how can they impart knowledge to all of them. So a big thank you to Mr. Anantaji also. He's not here, he's gone back to Delhi. So thank you to him also. Thank you all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks very much. And also just a big thank you from us at UNESCO MGIP. Dr. Ananta has left, but just from us to say a big, big thank you to all of you for coming to all of our sessions, for being part of the Seek session. I think a lot of you enjoyed that, so thank you for coming, and then also being part of the Youth Waging Peace course. We are very privileged to be here with Heartfulness, so thank you again, and we hope to see you again soon. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
The next panel is one of kindness towards nature. सलोनी पिछले कुछ समय में जो क्लाइमेट और एनवायरनमेंट में चेंजेस हैं वो हम सब ने एक्सपीरियंस और विटनेस किए हैं. द चेंजेस इन सीजन आर बिकमिंग मोर एंड मोर अनप्रेडिक्टेबल, एंड एज फ्यूचर जनरेशंस हम अक्सर ये सोचते हैं कि हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्या है. वी आर ऑल आस्किंग आवरसेल्व्स व्हाट कैन वी डू अबाउट इट.
As you likely said, आप सबने नोटिस किया होगा, कभी धूप कभी बारिश, सीज़न का कोई ठिकाना नहीं रहा है. एंड एज द फ्यूचर जनरेशन हमें ये सोचने में मजबूर हो रहे हैं कि हम इसके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं और हमें क्या करना चाहिए. So on that note, I would like to start the first panel discussion of the day. Listen and get inspired towards climate action. So ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have amongst us Mr. Puneet Lalbhai, Executive Director of Arvind Limited, who leads the Arvind's Advanced Materials, Engineering and Agri-Businesses. He also spearheads initiatives in sustainability, CSR, innovation at Arvind and much more. Sir, can we please have you on stage?
Joining him is our next guest, Miss Malika Reddy. Malika Reddy is the founder and creative director of cancelled plans. ये एक apparel brand है जो ऐसे materials यूज़ करती है जो कि pharmaceutical packaging और industrial waste से निकलते हैं. As Malika ma'am joins us on stage, I would like you to pay attention to what she's wearing because she's actually wearing a product of her own brand. So thank you so much for being on stage, ma'am.
We also have Mr. Anil Kumar SG, the founder and CEO of Samunati, एक ऐसा एग्री स्टार्टअप सक्सेसफुल एग्री स्टार्टअप बिजनेस जिसने और कई एग्रीकल्चर बिजनेसेस को फाइनेंशियली सपोर्ट किया है और कई तरीके से सपोर्ट किया है. सो ही इज़ हियर टू अनलॉक द $1 trillion plus potential of Indian agriculture with smallholder farmers at the center of it. Mr. Anil Kumar has received awards and recognitions from several forums, including the Best Social Entrepreneur in the Global Social Entrepreneurship 2018. We also have on this panel Mr. Sangeet, Director Forests by Heartfulness. Welcome everyone on the panel. And I would now like to welcome on stage Dr. Ananya Rao, consultant at the UNESCO MGIP, who will be moderating this panel. Over to you, Ananya. A big round of applause for all our panel members, please.
A very good morning to all of you. I can see that the crowd has thinned quite a bit. So before we begin, a kind request to all of you to be kind to the panel. And if you could, I'll give you 30 seconds to please come ahead and join us in front if you're participating. Yeah, so because...
So we are also inviting Tejaswini Madam, Miss Earth on the stage, please.
Okay, this is working now, yeah. So everybody who is participating, can you please come ahead and I'll quickly reintroduce the panel to you. Please, 30 seconds. Yeah. Thank you girls for coming ahead. Okay, so yes. So as the MCs already mentioned, we have with us Puneet Lalbhai, Executive Director, Arvind Limited. He also is spearheading the CSR and innovations at Arvind Limited. And education-wise, he has a MBA from INSEAD and also a master's degree in environmental science from Yale. Of course, our most embellished among the panelists is the young doctor, Tejaswini Manogna. She is the pride of India, pride of Kanha, Shanti, Vanam right now with her presence here. And she is an internationally recognized young achiever, a meritorious Indian medical doctor. Her praise, I mean, I can go on and on. I'm going to keep it short, but she has raised the Indian flag high in SAARC countries and has been honored by the President of India, Prime Minister of India. She was crowned Miss India Earth in 2019 and has represented Miss Earth Worldwide, represented India at Miss World Worldwide held at Philippines. She is also passionate about nation building and she has undergone the National Cadet Corps training. With her dedication and hard work, she had the honor of leading India's contingent as contingent commander and adjudged as India's best cadet, India's best shooter as well. And her accolades are just too many. Along with this, can you believe it? She's also a trained Bharatanatyam dancer and a music artist. Highly honored to get accreditation as professional national graded artist from the government, and she has enthralled audiences in numerous Indian heritages concerts across the globe. A very, very warm welcome to you, Dr. Manogna. We are honored to have you on the panel. Then we have SG Anil Kumar sir. She is the founder and CEO of Samunati Financial Intermediation and Services Private Limited. Samunati. Anil is the founder and CEO of Samunati, established in November 2014. Samunati offers financial and co-financial, non-financial solutions and is into agribusiness. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. Next, we have Sangeet. Sangeet Parvatam is a product manager and an energy sector program manager. He is also the program manager for Forest by Heartfulness. We have with us another very young lady among us, Malika Reddy, who is the founder of Cancel Plans. Are you all excited to know what Cancel Plans is all about? We'll slowly find out. Malika is a trained architect from the University of South California with a focus in sustainability. She also pursued minors in cinematic arts and entrepreneurship. She spent 4 years in branding before she started something called Cancel Plans, which is also a sustainable lifestyle brand. We'll hear more from her and what inspired her to get into this very shortly. Thank you all again for being here. Could you please put on these slides from up there? So just to give you all a brief context, I would like to keep it interactive. So let's start with, can you all hear me? The audio systems haven't been great, so can you all hear me? Okay, that's good. You've all had your breakfast, this means, okay. So before we get into the context, I want to know how many of you like good news first? Hands up. Okay, next, bad news first. Okay, it's almost like a 50-50, but anyway, I think good news wins over this because we are at a kindness panel. Next slide, please. So the good news is that, of course, everybody is elucidated on the climate change issue. Global warming is a big word these days, but we have more trees planted every year now than ever before. More people are keen on understanding what eco-friendly lifestyle choices are about. Life expectancy has reached its high limits. People admire car with a green number plate. You know what a green number plate means, right? Do you? What is it? Electric, yes. EV vehicles, yes. Electric vehicles. So rather than a Mercedes or a BMW, then we have technology which has made it easier for everybody, even in villages. If you have internet, you can access courses which are offered by Harvard or even UNESCO, climate change courses, biodiversity courses. And the youth today don't just want to work for money, but they also work for passion. As we have here on our panel, we have two youth who are also involved with work regarding the environment. But now coming to the bad news. Next slide, please. Bad news is, of course, that we are bombarded with pollution of all kinds. We have wars, we have virus outbreaks. It's getting harder and harder to envision a planet which is kind, peaceful, and healthy. And scientists have now said that 2 degrees is the limit, Baba. We can't cross it, We're going to all be in trouble. But we still are affecting the planet. Are we still being kind to the planet? Are you all being kind to the planet? Yes, okay, good. Okay, we have positive people here. So what can we do about this? Are what we are doing, are us being kind enough? Is there something more that we can do? Next slide, please. So what we are talking about today is, we know all these terms, sustainable lifestyle, sustainable clothing, sustainable agricultural practices, but is this enough? Is there more that we can do? Is there more that our education system can do with all of us? Are exams good for all of you? Exams, guys, do you want it or not? Okay, there are more changes that we are going to talk about that the panel is going to say which are needed for the sustainability. Let's see how things go. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so these are the natural causes of climate change. Next slide. And you see the red circle there? That's where we are. We as humans have reached, we have taken this graph. You don't need to understand it. It's temperature, it's CO2, it's sea level, and all of that from 400,000 of years. But the last bit of it is where humans have intervened, and we have taken all these off the charts. So we are here to discuss today if what we have done to the planet can be somehow mitigated, and if so, how?
are we going to tackle it through the education systems? Are we going to tackle it through the government policies? What are we going to do about it? So let us begin first with our first panelist, Puneet ji. So I wanted to hear from you. You are also a businessman and ecologist. So what would you say has been your inspiration to balance business and the environment?
So, जब से मैं छोटा था, तब से शायद पिछले जन्म से एक संस्कार एनवायरनमेंट और वाइल्ड लाइफ इन पर्टिकुलर के प्रति प्रेम इसका संस्कार में लेके ही आया हूँ, ऐसा मुझे लगता है. लेकिन मेरे दादाजी का भी इसमें बहुत बड़ा हाथ था. वो हर रोज़ हम ज़मीन पे लेट के मैं उनसे एनिमल्स की एनसाइक्लोपीडियाज़ पढ़वाता था और वो बड़े शांति से और बड़े पेशेंस से रिलीजियसली हर रोज़ आधा घंटा 1 घंटा मेरे साथ ऐसे बिताते थे. तो जो उनका मेरे प्रति प्रेम था उसमें कहीं ये वाइल्ड लाइफ, नेचर, कंजर्वेशन जुड़ा हुआ था. तो ये प्रेम भावना से शुरू हुई चीज़ थी और उसकी शुरुआत ऐसे हुई.
वाह, दैट्स सो ब्यूटीफुल, थैंक यू सो मच. तो आपने घर से ये वाली जर्नी स्टार्ट की, पर आपको क्या लगता है कि आपके स्कूल ने या आपके एजुकेशन सिस्टम ने भी आपको कहीं से इंस्पायर किया इसकी तरफ?
दूसरा एडवांटेज मेरे पास था, एक छोटा सा गार्डन था और बचपन में बहुत सारे मौके मिले बाहर जाने के, नेचर में जाने का. वाइल्ड लाइफ सैंक्चुरीज विज़िट की. मेरे मामा जी जो थे वो कंजर्वेशन में बहुत एक्टिव थे, तो वॉलंटियरिंग करने के भी अवसर मिले. तो ये सब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ को छीन के मैंने ओवर द इयर्स इसके प्रति जो प्रेम है उसको सिर्फ बढ़ाया है. तो मैं आप सबसे ये आग्रह करूँगा कि whenever you get the chance, I mean, there's so much wonder to be discovered around us in even the simplest of surroundings. If you take a 10-minute walk from here to the canteen, I can guarantee we can see 10 bird species and at least 5 to 6 butterfly species. So it's just a question of opening our eyes. Nature is all around us, and it's a different world waiting to be discovered.
Wow, that's so beautifully put, sir. Thank you. Next, I would like to hear from our very renowned Dr. Tejaswini Manogna, MD Pediatrics, who is one of the most accomplished youth in the country. She has not only represented Miss India at the Miss India Earth 2019, but has also won medals in that particular event for being Miss Intelligent, Miss Talented, and Miss Earth Global People's Choice. And you were given the title Beauty with a Purpose, which of course reflects in everything that you do. So you were also involved with eco-activism. In this amazingly illustrious journey you have had, what has been your biggest motivation?
Thank you, Ananya, for that lovely introduction. First of all, good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure you all are hungry right now, but still I see an amazing crowd sitting here to still learn at least 1 or 2 points from each of the panelists present here. Thank you for being here. You know, when it comes to your question as to like what inspired me to do all of this, I don't think like before going to Miss Earth, usually when people go to Miss India, it's like, after you go to the contest, like you search for a purpose, like, what do I represent? Like, what do I like create as a social cause to like show it to the audience? But for me, that has never been the purpose. Like my cause started at a childhood, visiting a lot of government schools and colleges and giving a lot of motivational talks and trying to inspire them in regards to like what they can achieve in a short span of time and inspire them as to like how they can preserve nature and all. So I think looking at those innocent faces, I think that was my inspiration, which I felt like, if we in the current generation don't preserve this nature, they will be the sufferers. That's the loan that we have taken from them that we have to repay to them. And so I think that has been my inspiration that I've been continuing throughout, and I've been part of like numerous campaigns, like be it like massive tree plantation drives, or save water, or waste management, or toilet constructions, or like doing a massive yoga campaigns. Like I've been part of like numerous campaigns. I think it's the people who inspire me to do better, and it's not me, like more than my achievements. I think it's that will that I want to do something for them in return, because it's also the nature which inspires me, because from every tree you learn kindness. Like every tree will give you oxygen, and it takes in your carbon dioxide. So from each and everything in the nature, you will learn how to be kind. Nature inspires you to be better, and nature protects you, and nature saves you in so many aspects. I think it's on you to give back to the nature and to keep it, with the same pristine purity for the next generations to come.
Wow, that's so beautifully put. Thank you so much. And we have been privileged to have her here and do the tree plantation as well before this trip. Yeah, so another thing that I wanted to know from you was that, do you think schools have played any role in your developing this drive in you? And also, do you see a difference in the society with individual efforts from people like you, going to schools and all of it?
Definitely. Like all of these habits, like they're part of your lifestyle. And lifestyle habits, it's inculcated in you right in your childhood, like right in your schools, right in your homes. So I think before your school also, like especially as Sir was telling, coming up from a home where parents teach you to be responsible towards your own self, and parents teach you to be responsible towards your nature. I think that's extremely important, because that's when you start learning the habits and lifestyle changes, as I was saying. So in my home, I think my parents and my uncle, like all of them have been they've taught me a lot of good things about nature, and they've taught me the medicine, about a lot of medicinal plants and how they can be used and all. So that has definitely that I think that was the root which started in me. And then definitely my schools also, they've inspired me a lot, with a lot of like tree plantation campaigns which happen. And I think in the current generation of schools, there is definitely a change, especially when it comes to Kanha. You have a school here where it's about open education, and schools right now are taking children to those places where children are taught how to do agriculture. I think a lot of changes is already happening, and that's a change towards positivity. Though you've shown that the carbon dioxide is in the peaks, but if, as you said, how you asked me like how can each individual can contribute towards nature. I believe that my campaign actually, from local communities to the international platform during Miss Earth, was that each one plant one, let's kill the pollution before it kills us. So the question they asked me in the international pageant also was like, you belong to this country where the population is exploding, and what do you think are what are the causes? I mean, what do you think this kind of population explosion will lead to? Then I said, yes, because of the population explosion, there is a crunch on the natural resources. But if each one of us can be responsible, and if each one can plant one tree, then we can actually get back the lungs of the world, and we can actually protect nature. So if, as a saying goes that, each drop in the ocean makes the ocean, right? So each one of us, if we can be responsible and do small things like, switching off your light, and then planting a tree in your house, doing a proper waste management, segregating what is like wet waste and dry waste. And, if each one of us, if we know what is right, what is wrong, I think it contributes towards a greater betterment, and we will plant a garden of changed mindsets.
Wow,
Thank you.
that's so beautifully put. Thank you. Thank you so much. And you brought out so many nice points there. I mean, about small contributions, and each one teach one to plant one. That's also our heartfulness motto. But along with this, you mentioned that going to schools and inspiring children was something that motivated you. I'm sure the audience here will agree that if she visited our schools as well, you would also be motivated to do something good for the environment, right? Do I get a yes? Yeah, thank you for that. Okay. So next we have our other young panelist, um, Malika, Malika Reddy. So the founder of Cancel Plans. As a young entrepreneur, how easy or tough was it to start a company on sustainable lifestyle products? I mean, I don't think many of us have heard this term itself, you know, sustainable lifestyle products. So if you could tell us more about that and how challenging it was to start a company like that. Also, what inspired you to start it?
Sure. I think honestly, being an entrepreneur in itself is quite hard. I think people have to put in a lot of blood, sweat, tears. There's a lot of heartbreak. There's a lot of ups and downs. So to begin with, entrepreneurship is a difficult thing, but it's also hugely rewarding. So in anything like that, there are naturally a lot of challenges, but I do see that in the space of sustainability, I also see the challenges as an opportunity. So I think one of the reasons I am asked is, why do you do fashion? Because consumerism is also not necessarily good for the planet. But I think that the fashion industry is a big polluter, and I think Puneet will agree with me as well, one of the biggest if not. So that's where our opportunity lies. We can't ignore an industry because it's polluting it. We have to change it. So I think that challenge almost proposed itself as an opportunity, and how we can do small interventions which we can prove that, okay, as a business this can scale up. So it's definitely not an easy journey. There's a lot of challenges, but it's so worth it. And when I think we're talking about entrepreneurship in sustainability, I honestly don't even see it that way anymore. I feel like sustainability has to be a crucial element of any business because of the times that we're living in. I don't think we can treat it as like a specialty cause. It is more of a mindset, it's more of an attitude, it's more of like an operational thing rather than a category or an industry. It is how we operate should be in a sustainable manner, and the way of working and the way of thinking should be sustainable.
Wow, that's brilliant. Thank you. So it's not just about building a business, but also having sustainability as a part of it.
I think it's at this point it's like a hygiene factor. I don't think that any business can operate without an element of sustainability in whether it's people or whether it's the environment. It's across the board.
Thank you so much. And also, what would be your recommendations to promote the concept of sustainable lifestyle among the youth? Do you think we should start it, like introduce these kind of terms and what it really means in early schooling?
Honestly, for me, I was very lucky that, my parents brought us up very conscious towards the environment, being kind to our planet. I also went to a school which was very conscious in that way. And it just kind of like this bug just grew in me over the years without me trying very hard. So I almost think we have to like trick ourselves into doing it. I think it cannot be something that you teach someone. I think it's something that you have to instill as a mindset, as in conversations, in little habits like was mentioned earlier, is that like switch off the light when you leave a room. And I think the biggest thing is that the biggest recommendation I would say is just start. You can start small, you can start anywhere, you can make huge commitments, whatever works for you. Starting anywhere is the key to it. And I personally believe that 1 million people doing sustainability imperfectly is way more impactful than 1,000 people doing it perfectly. So I think that's what we need.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for this. So moving on to you, Anil sir. So being from a banking background, you have moved to agri-banking. So could you tell us a little bit about agri-banking? Because this is also another new term that I'm sure many of us here don't know much about. So, agri-finance.
Thank you, Ananya, and wonderful to be here. First and foremost, thanks to all of you who have decided to stay back in spite of the temptation to get into the drizzle that we have. So thanks to all of you. And thanks to Malika for the kind words for the entrepreneur and entrepreneurship, because I'm going through it and I can relate to what it is. Right? So I have been an accidental banker and an accidental entrepreneur. Started my career with Canara Bank when I was 18 and a half, discontinuing my mechanical engineering in Tumkur, and was posted in a rural branch of Canara Bank, where agriculture and the relevance of financial services to agriculture were seen on the ground. In other words, my baptism into banking happened in the rural and agri space. When people talk about planet and farmer and agriculture, I saw the confluence of all the three, as they say, the Triveni Sangamam. All the three are so intertwined. And the actor in this activity called the farmer has no control on the drivers of his activity, agriculture, because they are usually in the first line of fire. They are dependent on rain, but it all depends on when it rains. Timely rain, good for the crop. Untimely rain, not good for the crop. Untimely rain, soon after harvest, you have lost what you have produced. And all of this, how the farming families in India, or the farmers in India, manage the resilience that we see on the ground is something that is phenomenal. You have to go and live with them, and then that's where the privilege of having worked with them for about 25 years of my 31 years of banking experience comes into picture. That's the privilege that I have had. Just visualize what is the picture or the image that you get when you talk about an Indian farmer. A dilapidated person sitting on a barren piece of land, hopefully looking into the sky and waiting for something to happen. That's the picture that we usually get, right? But the reality on the ground is, if today we are eating something on our plate or having something to eat in our plate, it is thanks to this gentleman or this family. So Samunnati, the entity that I am privileged to have founded, is looking at how do we make this narrative change from being a victim to we having the gratitude that he is our Annadata, which is a fact. And that shift has to happen in our head. They are doing what they are doing, and they will continue doing what they are doing in any case. Do we have the realization to be grateful to this Annadata of ours? And that's where the vision of Samunnati comes into picture, to make markets work for smallholder farmers, because the markets have been working off the farmer. Can we replace the word off with a for? And this is a journey that is about 7 years old, and we work with farmer collectives on the production side and agri enterprises on the demand side, what are called the farmer producer organizations. And in this 7 years of our journey, we have been able to reach out to about 3,800 such farmer collectives serving about 7 million smallholder farmers. And we have been able to facilitate finance plus market linkages upwards of about $1.5 billion. So that has been the journey. And how do we change the narrative of being grateful to this Annadata is what is the aspiration.
That's such a noble thought, sir. That's such a noble cause that you're working for. And I would like to know, how difficult or easy was it to move from, say, completely banking sector into this for the farmer venture of agri-finance?
Well, it was not easy, because the narrative that most of us in the financial world have of a farmer and agriculture as a sector is, hey, you lend to farmers, they get into the debt trap and take extreme step. There will be a press news, and then your portfolio is gone, because lending to farmer was like an oxymoron, right? Yeah. But little do we realize that agriculture is a sector. It is a $245 billion sector in India alone.
Yes, we're an agriculture.
And post-pandemic, most of the other smaller countries are actually looking towards India for their food security. That's the kind of potential that the agriculture represents as an activity. And well, the risks of production do exist in farming. Rain or sunshine, as Saloni was mentioning, farmer is at the receiving end of it. But then the fact remains that there is a lot that happens before the seed goes into the soil, and a lot that happens after the seed is harvested. That's why agriculture is a sector. How do we make sure that we harmonize the interaction between the production side, the cultivation side, and the post-harvest side? of agriculture so that we would be able to build a meaningful, sustainable business proposition. So it was not easy for people to understand that agriculture is not crop loan, and that lending to agriculture indeed is something that is a viable, sustainable business. And the last 5 years of our own track record has proved in the $1.5 billion, about 13,000 crores that we have done so far, the risk has been about 2%. So 98% of the money has come back. Right? And many entities are moving in that direction. So it has not been easy, but not impossible.
Wow, this is so beautiful. And 3 cheers for our farmers, of course. And also, before we move on to our next speaker, I just wanted to understand from you, sir, that you say that from what I gather from what you say is that agriculturalists, in the sense the farmers, are already in tune with nature. And they don't receive this through any formal education. They are doing this because they're out there in the field, right? So do you think that that also adds something to their mindset of being in tune with nature? I mean, being out in the fields and dirtying their hands literally, does that really add to how they feel towards the environment, towards the planet?
Oh, absolutely. They are basically intertwined into what happens across them, intertwined into the nature, so to say. The native intelligence that they have, the intuition that has got passed through generations of doing farming. They can smell air and say whether it would rain or not. They can look at the surrounding and they say this is the right time to sow or not. And that intuitive knowledge is something that is phenomenal. But what is posing a challenge to this intuitive knowledge is the climate change, of course. That's a big subject. We'll not get into it because a lot is changing beyond their perception, right? But of course, they live in tune with nature, which is what a human is all about, part of the planet.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Don't you all agree that farmers are the most in tune? Yes? No? Are you awake? Okay, good. Just checking up on all of you. Yeah, so our next speaker, Sangeet Parvatam. You are associated with exploring nature-based solutions as a viable option for achieving net zero carbon emissions, both for the corporates and countries alike. You strongly believe and advocate that climate change abatement is an opportunity to build a just and equitable society involving grassroots communities. What tools and skills would you suggest the youth need to inculcate to achieve these lofty goals?
Well, if I talk about all the tools, then we will have to skip lunch. Okay, firstly, I want to tell what nature-based solutions are. So you've heard Ananya speak about a lot of technical terms like net zero, but I'm sure all of us have an idea that we have to bring down the carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere. And there are many tools to doing it, or many paths to that. And one of them is nature-based solutions, which is a lot of planting trees, but planting the right kind of trees at the right place. But not just planting trees, but also preventing deforestation. Okay. A fully mature forest is much better than planting a new forest. It sequesters much more carbon that way. So it's very important that we all understand the part that nature-based solutions play. And just planting a tree does not give us an excuse to continue pollution. Yeah. Planting tree is one of the many ways that we can bring this carbon dioxide emissions lower. Yeah, get closer to net zero. And how can today's youth participate in this? Firstly, it's very important. In fact, I'm very happy to see that today's youth, whenever I speak to them, they're so knowledgeable already. They watch so many videos, read so many journals, and they ask me directly very technical questions. This was not the case. Even in my IIT days, I hardly had any environmental bent of mind. It was mostly about engineering or somehow get through the subject. Yeah. But I think today's youth have that natural bent of mind. I think it's a tectonic shift in consciousness. Yeah. And through meditation, again, I'm changing the topic again, but through meditation, it's very sustainably we can change the way we think. It is more intuition based than logic based. Someone who is meditating or someone who is into spirituality doesn't have to think about environment as a subject. It is not something different from you. There is no line between you and nature. You are not just part of nature, you are nature. When that realization comes, nobody needs to tell you go and plant a tree. Yeah. Nobody needs to tell you that you have to kind of stop pollution. It happens naturally, and I think that is the most sustainable way of achieving our net zero goals. If at least 10% of people meditate on this planet, you can imagine what the results could be. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's so beautifully put. So another thing that I wanted to know was what is your role in Forest by Heartfulness? You have been a part of it for a long time now. And
So Forest by Heartfulness, you must have seen the standees and banners and some videos played here as well. It's a movement. It's an ecological movement by Heartfulness Institute to conserve the endangered species of India. And you all have heard animals going extinct, right? Not so much of plant species going extinct because they cannot speak or they may not really kind of look very appealing on TV. But a lot of plant species are going extinct. Yeah. And Kanha Shantivanam, apart from being a place for meditation, it is also a conservation zone. To whoever has taken part in plantation today, you've been planting species not very common that you will find. We have been planting a lot of sandalwood, not because it is very valuable, because it has a tremendous amount of conservation value. And Forest by Heartfulness is all about enhancing and conserving the mega biodiversity of India. India, by its unique geographical position, you know the latitudinal spread of India, just about anything grows in India. And it has got so many different forests. Yeah. And because of climate change, a lot of these species are not able to reproduce by themselves in the wild. We provide them, or rather by planting them in urban spaces or conservation places like this, we make sure that they exist for our next generations. So essentially, Forest by Heartfulness is a movement to plant trees of conservation value all over the country. In simpler words, we want to kind of make a Kanha out of most places of the country. Thank you.
before I head to ask questions to the audience, one quick question to all of you is that how many of you think that your schools have actually helped you be where you are today in terms of being sustainable and kind towards the planet? Okay, we have 2 hands out of the 3, and you know, surprisingly, they're the 2 youngsters. So that means maybe there is a change happening in our schooling system. But to the audience, I would ask, how many of you knew most of the terms that we discussed today? Nature-based solutions, sustainable lifestyle products. Can I see a raise of hands? Have you learned about these terms in your school? All the hands go down. Wow, okay. So what I'm trying to get at here is that, do you think we need to change things about our education system so that we get a better connect with nature? Raise a hand. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. Also, as Sangeet rightly put, should we include meditation as a part of our curriculum to help us connect better with the planet? Wow, louder yes. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. And the panelists, if you'd like to add on to that, I see that you would like to put in a point. Please go on, Dr. Manogna.
Hi. As I just said, we already have a lot of schools which are implementing amazing things, like actually making children do agriculture as part of their curriculum, and then making them make products out of those agricultural products, and then how to sell those products, and then they have weekend markets, which some of the schools have already implemented all of that. I think that's an amazing change. Actually, like we have two sides of the coin. Like some of the schools are like two studios. Like you only study and you can't do anything much. And like some of the corporates are like that. But some of the schools are like let's start off on the open schools and then let's actually encourage children in doing all of this. I think the change has started, and we are moving towards sustainability. I think all the kids are aware and of the of the disasters that our nature is facing already, and they are aware of what are the solutions that need to be that need to be done. And I think it is this time that we have to start implementing all those solutions that we already know.
Wow, it is now and here that we have to do this. Thank you so much, Doctor. Now I'll quickly open the floor for any questions from the audience, one or two at max, please. Please introduce yourself and quickly ask the question. Thank you.
Hello. Check. 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 Check.
Or maybe you can tell me the question and I can ask them the question. Yeah. Come up. Take it, my friend.
Hello. Good afternoon, one and all. My name is Nitish Pramod Sari. I belongs to Ahmednagar. I am currently representing Indira Institute of Management, Pune. So I am feeling blessed to be part of this conference. So I have two questions to set up two questions to this great panelist. My first question is related to both questions are related to climate change only. So my first question is the remedies that are the remedies to climate change be worsened than the disease, and will it drive more people into poverty at a higher cost? Because the Syria is a one example. It facing a lot of drought at the moment, and people having a displacement, and there is a huge conflict. So there is a huge poverty. And my second question is doing what need to be done to combat climate change all comes down to a political will, because there are a lot of debate happening, but there is not any action taking place. So will it totally to political will, or what should we do? This is my question. Thank you, everyone.
That was a very interesting question.
So
Yeah.
I think I'd like to tackle the second question first. I think it's a little bit of a cop-out to sort of put everything on political will. I think the political will goes where we take it. And politicians and politics is very, very quick to respond to how the population reacts. Also, this concept around being kind to nature, I think there is a fallacy in that also, because as you saw in that graph, we've been around for literally a blink, and nature will persist even after we extinguish ourselves. Nature will reinvent, re-energize, recover. So I think the whole thing about it's about being kind to yourself. And whatever is a reflection outside, in a sense, it's a reflection of what is inside. So how you see the world depends on how you are inside. And so this whole thing about political will, I think it's a question about how do we spark that change within us, so that if we are all clean within, then our collective power will drive politics in the right direction. So I think it is our responsibility, and like the lady very eloquently spoke about that starfish being thrown. There is a lot of power in throwing that one starfish, not because you made of course because you made a difference to the life of the starfish, but you also cleaned yourself inside. And this process of cleaning oneself inside, how does one do that effectively? Meditation is the answer. And for me personally, my love affair with nature has deepened so much more after I came into Heartfulness. It began when I was a child, but it has actually deepened and gone to the level of the profound after I started meditating. So if we are looking to bring a change in the world, we have to first look to bring a change within. I think that's the message that I'd like to give.
Great, sir. Great.
Thank you. That was a wonderful message. And the next two questions are in fact directed to Dr. Tejaswini Manogna, the second one.
Hi, all of you. This is A. Kavita. I'm studying integrated chemistry. Nice to meet you, ma'am.
Hi, Kavita.
Hi. Actually, I want to ask a question that you have become a Miss Universe, you're a doctor, you're a yoga practitioner, you're the Bharatanatyam. Is the patience make you more to get this all the opportunities and you are success in all these? What was the patience? Which thing you make more patience to do all these? Have you done anything for improve your patience to do all of these things? This is my question.
To improve my patience to do all of this. Let me tell you, like, it is a very difficult task to be able to balance all of this, especially like now when I'm doing my post-graduation into pediatrics, like getting a leave on a Sunday to come here, I had to struggle and beg to give me a leave, please. I need to be in part of, I wanted to come and see all of you wonderful youth here as part of this International Youth Conference. So, yes, it is definitely a struggle, but there will definitely be that one point of balance which will keep you calm and balanced, and that is definitely yoga and meditation for me. Yes, so I do practice yoga every day. I do practice meditation every day, and it lets out all the stress of your day. It keeps you calm, and it gives you that energy to go ahead for the day. So that is the answer for me. Yes.
You are the inspiration of my life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, all the dignitaries on the stage. I am Bharatram from Soham Academy. So I would like to ask you one question to the Dr. Tejaswini ma'am. What is your message do you want to give to the youth, and what do you want to achieve in your life, ma'am? So that is what I'm going to ask you about that. And yeah, please, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Bharat. My message to the youth is definitely that each of you is exceptionally talented. Each of you is worth sitting here, but you just have to look within yourself and recognize what your talent is. And, you are the youth who will be deciding the fate and destiny of our nation. So you people have that will, zeal, and drive to make this nation's presence in the global world, isn't it? So I just feel that, as I just said, you are extremely powerful within yourself. Realize your potential, realize what you are good at, and definitely believe in yourself. Go ahead, do what your heart says, go according to your passion. And there's so much that you can explore within yourself and in this world. Okay, do not give up at any point. And what I want to achieve in my life, yes, I don't think I would point and say about my career goals. Career goals, one after the other, will keep happening. But ultimately, I just want to be satisfied that, hey, whatever my heart said, I followed it, and I at least chased my passion, and I did not give up on my life at any point of time. I want to have that satisfaction in my life that I've done what my heart said. And I want to have this, the ultimate thing in life that, you just want to be happy, peaceful, and satisfied with what you have in your life. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tejaswini. So to conclude the sessions, it has been a wonderful conversation. Don't you all agree? One less? Wow, okay, you are not that hungry, that means you're still answering, okay. So please add on if I've missed anything, but yes, as I get it, wisdom bridge, that's one thing. I mean, how much our parents have taught us to be kind to the planet, to be kind to nature, matters a lot. So what we give to the next generation, how we treat them, how we inculcate values in them, matters a lot in how they develop their connect with nature. That's one thing I get. And of course, trees and nature teaches us to be kind. It's not that we have to try and be kind, but being out in the open is enough for us to be kind. So putting that aspect into education, into our lives, of spending some amount of time out in the open would make us kinder to the planet. And small contributions, yes, small changes lead to big results. So small contributions from our side, whatever it is, like the panelists mentioned, switching off the light, or even coming up with waste disposal methods, you know, recycling and reusing stuff, that matters a lot. Then we have intuitive knowledge, how we can increase our intuition through meditation and also change and refine ourselves so that we see this change out in the world as well. So this is what our message from the discussion today would be. Did I miss anything, panelists? Did you all enjoy, by the way? Okay, thank you so much for being here, and enjoy your lunch now, finally. Thank you. Just hold on, the MCs will take you through.
Thank you for the lovely conversation, Ananya.
Thank you so much, panelists and Dr. Ananya, for facilitating such a lovely panel today. We will now have Dr. Ramakant, who is Director of Forests by Heartfulness, felicitating our esteemed panel and guests today. Can we welcome Dr. Ramakant on stage with a huge round of applause? Can we keep the applause going as the gifts are handed over to our esteemed guests? Dr. Ramakant is also the father of Dr. Ananya, who has been moderating the panel today. So truly a wisdom bridge that we are seeing in front of us.
Thank you all. So before we break for the lunch, some announcements. After lunch, there will be sessions, breakout sessions, Heartful Campus, Heartful Communication, and the MGIP SEL at the conference place. So the locations are same as you know. The MGIP sessions will be at the conference hall. The Heartful Campus will be here, and Heartful Communication will be at the foyer, like just like yesterday. And after that, you have to be back here by 2 p.m. For the next half of the day. And important announcement is now we are all going for a group photograph. So I request all of you to come to the foyer there. Just next door, there is a nice grassland patch, and see you all there for a group picture with all of you together.